Chapter 1641. Sister Xian, they didn't disrespect you, Song Ning said. Putting aside your identity as Song Ning, aren't you my sister? Others may not know, but these two don't? Lin Xianer's face turned cold. Miss, I've been feeling a lot of emotions lately. I used to think that the things I lost were always there, just like our sisterly relationship. Especially after experiencing the atmosphere of the Yi family, I feel that such a relationship is hard to come by, Song Ning said. As long as you know what you're doing. I'll open the evil Punisher land later. You have to be careful of Zhaoyang. I think the Zhaohua dynasty should have some information, Lin Xian reminded Night Sorrow. I understand, Song Ning understood. Also, bring Wufeng to the city lord's mansion. I have something to discuss with him, Lin Xian changed the topic. Miss, it's better to let Song Ning invite Wufeng. He's one of Song Ning's few friends. I don't want to see him in a difficult position. Song Ning bowed to Song Ning. I won't force him. I still have to give you face, Lin Xianer shook her head. 2 hours later, Song Ning and Wufeng arrived at the city lord's mansion. Translator, Atlas Studios editor. Atlas Studios. At this moment, Lin Xianer, who was sitting on the city lord's mansion's throne, had changed into another set of battle clothes. Her entire body was wrapped in energy. Wufeng greets the battle empress. Wufeng bowed to Lin Xianer, who was sitting on the city lord's mansion's throne. Rise. I asked Song Ning to bring you here today because I have something to discuss with you. It's just a simple discussion. Because of your relationship with Song Ning, I won't force you to do anything. Have a seat. Lin Xianer said. Wufeng and Song Ning bowed to Lin Xianer again and sat down. You're a talent. There's no doubt about that. The ethereal dynasty needs talents. However, if you were willing to join, you wouldn't have waited until today, Lin Xianer said. Please understand, my lord. Wufeng is used to being free and unfettered. I don't want to be restricted. However, Wufeng has also told Song Ning that as long as she needs it, I will not sit idly by. Wufeng explained his point of view. I admire you, and I also hope that there will be some talents in the city lord's residence. If you can join the city lord's residence, I promise to help you once in the future. As long as you don't touch anyone from the ethereal empire, I will help you kill whoever you want. Lin Xianer looked at Wu Feng and stated her conditions. Edgeless remained silent as he pondered. The Ninein clan. With your strength, it will be very difficult for you to take revenge, unless you also have the strength of an emperor, Lin Xianer said. Milady, you know? Wufeng looked at Lin Xianer in surprise. Isn't the cold Yin poison in your body the result of being hit by the Ninein clan's Yin wind palm? Lin Xianer stated her own judgment. Yes. To tell you the truth, this palm was given to me by my mother. I don't know how to take revenge or even how to deal with it. Wufeng sighed because this was the pain in his heart. I can't cure the cold Yin poison in your body. The cold Yin poison has already fused with your body. Only the purest and purest yang energy can restrain it. My attribute is not suitable for it. However, regardless of whether you take revenge or not, as long as you join the city lord's residence, my promise will not change. In addition, I can tell you another piece of information. Your ultimate technique is the Wind Blade Body, the ultimate technique of the Feng clan of the Wind World. If you are a direct descendant of the Feng clan, then in terms of background, you are not inferior to your enemy, the Ninein clan, Lin Xianer said. Milady. Wu Feng stood up. The Ethereal Empire has investigated all the Emperor Realm cultivators who come to the Ethereal Empire. This is not targeted at you, Lin Xianer explained. Milady, if I join the city lord's residence, can I get information about the Feng clan of the Wind World? Wu Feng asked excitedly. Whether you join or not, I can give it to you. This is the information about the Wind World. However, you will not be able to find the Wind World. The Wind World is a more mysterious world. It is surrounded by the divine wind of destruction. Those who are not Emperor Realm cultivators or Supreme Realm cultivators cannot enter. Lin Xianer threw a book to Wu Feng. Many thanks. I am willing to serve the Ethereal Empire. Wu Feng cupped his fists at Lin Xianer after receiving the book. That will be all for now. If Song Ning needs help, you will assist him. When there is a suitable position, I will arrange it for you. Lin Xianer's figure flickered twice before disappearing from the city lord's residence hall. Wu Feng, I didn't make things difficult for you, did I? Song Ning asked. No, Lord Battle Emperor treated me with sincerity. I have no reason to refuse. Based on the information you gave me, I am qualified to work for you, Wu Feng nodded. Song Ning and Wu Feng then left the city lord's residence. Song Ning pulled Wu Feng to a tavern to drink and celebrate. Song Ning knew that Lin Xian'er would definitely put Wu Feng in an important position. Among the 7 mansion masters, only the top 2 could compare to Wu Feng. I am happy for you. Without a background you are just duckweed. But it is different now. Song Ning looked at Wu Feng and said. Song Ning, I have troubled you with my matters, Wu Feng said. Then marry me. Song Ning said with a smile. All right. Once I am done with the Wind World I will propose to you. Don't go back on your word. Wu Feng looked at Song Ning and said. It seemed like a joke, but it was not. The 2 of them had known each other for a long time and had feelings for each other. Both of them knew this, but neither of them said it. This was also the reason why Yang Tianlai left without saying anything when he saw Wu Feng taking care of Night Sorrow's matters. He could not defeat Wu Feng, but he did not want to provoke Song Ning. Then I will wait for you. There are not many good men in this world. Night Sorrow is a good man, but he is too young. Ah. Other than him, it is you, Song Ning said with a smile. What nonsense are you talking about? Wu Feng was speechless. This time you will come with me to the evil Punisher land. That Zhao Yang has a spatial treasure on him. I suspect that there is someone inside, Song Ning said. All right, I will go with you. Wu Feng nodded. He was very happy. Other than the problem of his birth, he could also face his inner feelings with Song Ning's jokes. If that Zhao Shang also goes in, then we are no match for him. We can only find Lord War Emperor to deal with him. If anyone else dares to sneak in, the 2 of us will kill them. After this matter is settled, I will accompany you to deal with the Wind World's matters. Song Ning nodded. Lin Xian'er returned to the Night Moon Villa. She was also very happy. There were not many people she valued, and Wu Feng was one of them. This was also the reason why she was willing to help Wu Feng regardless of whether he joined the Misty Dynasty or not. Some people and things could not be measured by the view of benefits. Chapter 1642. Inside the ethereal Imperial City's VIP pavilion, Zhao Yang and Zhao Muyu sat facing each other. Young Emperor, the departure date has been set. There are still 2 days left. Zhao Muyu said. After I go in, Great Elder will return. That Battle Emperor has his eyes on Great Elder. Zhao Yang whispered. All right, young city lord, this king will return after you go in. Things will proceed according to plan, but the spatial treasure must be hidden well. Zhao Muyu nodded. This time, Zhao Hua dynasty indeed had a plan. They found out that there was a great treasure in the evil Punisher land, the Ghost Wings. It was Guizu's protective treasure, an emperor weapon. The Ghost Wings' power lay not only in its strong defense, but also in its speed. After refining the Ghost Wings, it would fuse with the user's body, forming a pair of wings that could cover thousands of miles. This information was discovered by Zhao Hua dynasty's emperor, Zhao Shang, in the ancient records. After Guizu placed the Space World Source, the Ghost Wings, one of the 2 treasures that made him famous, disappeared. The great demon king who killed him only obtained the Ghost Wings. Zhao Hua, who felt that something was wrong, checked many ancient records and confirmed that Guizu had lost the Ghost Wings after placing the Space World Source. This meant that the Ghost Wings were in the evil Punisher land. It was a great treasure that Guizu had hidden there. It might be a way out for himself. With such information in hand, Zhao Shang naturally had to act. Once he succeeded, his strength would increase greatly. When a cultivator reached a certain level and couldn't increase their cultivation, they could only use external items to increase their strength. Powerful weapons and defensive equipment were the first choice. Guizu's Ghost Wings were such a top-grade item. Zhao Shang wanted to obtain it even in his dreams. He sent spies to the ethereal Imperial City and didn't hesitate to bribe people from the ethereal city's City Lord Mansion. Therefore, when Lin Xian'er announced the opening of the evil Punisher land, he immediately knew and made a decision. Zhao Shang couldn't go to the ethereal Imperial City because he knew that Lin Xian'er wouldn't let him in. Therefore, he sent Great Elder Zhao Muyu and his son Zhao Yang to the ethereal Imperial City. In the end, Zhao Mu was slapped in the face and Zhao Yang obtained the opportunity to enter. Zhao Shang's avatar and one of his guards were residing in Zhao Yang's spatial magic treasure. When the evil Punisher land opened, only the ethereal Battle Emperor had entered it a few times. After that, he had never entered it again. Zhao Shang felt that as long as he could enter, it would be enough. Without the ethereal Battle Emperor, he would be invincible in the evil Punisher land. Night Sorrow had also received the notice. He and Datura had arrived at the Tsangning army. This time, the Flying Rock Army and the Sparrow Dance Army had entered as the City Lord's residence's troops. Night Sorrow and Datura were assigned to Peng Wanli of the Flying Rock Army by Tsangning. Lin Xianer was also in the Flying Rock Army. When Song Ning announced the news, he asked Lin Xianer to help him deal with some unexpected situations. The Flying Rock Army soldiers were all very excited. They had entered before and gained a lot. However, the people who entered had a mission. Each person had to hand over 30 flames of life of the same level. Of course, this was for those below the Emperor Realm. Emperor Realm cultivators only had to hand over 3 flames of life. This wasn't considered forced. If you didn't want to hand it over, then don't enter. There were many people who were willing to enter because this represented an opportunity to obtain opportunities. Night Sorrow and Mandala both had to hand over 60 flames of life of the 8th grade. As long as they were of the King Realm, it would be fine. After all, it was very difficult to kill 60 Heaven Monarch Realm evil spirits. Night Sorrow's original body was roaming outside while Dachura's original body was in the Haotian Divine Pagoda. Naturally, they would follow Night Sorrow. In other words, both of them would send out their avatars. Song Ning told Peng Wanli that Lin Xianer, Dachura, and Night Sorrow were free and didn't need to be bound by the Flying Rock Army's rules. After gathering the troops, they set off. There were less than 3,000 people in total. They were the Flying Rock Army, the Sparrow Dance Army, and some other rogue cultivators. There weren't many rogue cultivators who entered. There were a total of 10 of them, and Radiant was among them. When Radiant saw Dachura and Lin Xianer wearing veils, her eyes instantly lit up. Even though she couldn't see their faces, she could tell that the two women had outstanding temperaments just by looking at their figures and exposed eyes. After a few teleportations, the army arrived at the evil Punisher land. It was the end of a huge canyon. At the end of the canyon, there was a 6-pointed star array on a cliff with energy flowing within. Ceiling array. At this moment, a woman wearing a golden robe and covered in energy appeared. Her face couldn't be seen. She flew directly into the array and struck out with energy from both her hands. The ceiling array stopped operating. Then energy surged and a dark spatial passage appeared. You have 3 months. After 3 months I will seal this place. If you don't come out, then you will have to fend for yourself. After leaving behind a sentence that shook the space, the figure flashed and left. When the figure appeared and left, everyone in Song Ning's army bowed. This figure was none other than the ethereal Battle Emperor. Of course, it was his original body. His clone, Night Sorrow, and Dachura were together. Let's go, Song Ning shouted. Then he led the people in. Wufeng brought up the rear. Night Sorrow, Boss Song and Big Brother Wufeng are very compatible. Dachura whispered. I really didn't notice that. Night Sorrow smiled. Yes. Aluo, now that you mention it, I feel that it's very suitable. When we go back we can talk about it. After hearing Dachura's words, Lin Xianer was full of agreement. As sisters from the same family, Song Ning had been her personal attendant for many years. Therefore Lin Xianer sincerely hoped that Song Ning would have a good home. After entering the spatial tunnel, Night Sorrow and the others were swept into the evil Punisher land by the energy. The evil Punisher gate has just opened, so there is a backlash of energy. It's easy for us to enter, but after 2 hours the energy will rush out and it will be very difficult to enter. Lin Xianer whispered. QP Original First Edition. After entering the evil Punisher land, Night Sorrow felt a sense of oppression and an inexplicable sense of disgust. What's wrong? Seeing Night Sorrow frown, Dachura asked. I feel a little oppressed. I feel a sense of disgust. The evil Punisher land is rejecting me. Night Sorrow whispered. It'll be fine after a while. It should be a rejection from the world's origin. It might even lead the living beings here to kill you, so you have to be careful. Lin Xianer said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that in terms of knowledge and experience, he was no match for Lin Xianer. After entering the evil Punisher land, Song Ning took out a disc array and activated a large array to cover up the tunnel. Because there was no one guarding this place, if an evil spirit rushed out, it would threaten the safety of the living beings of the ethereal dynasty. A battle can happen at any time, so everyone has to be extra cautious. Now we'll split into groups and fight. Song Ning shouted. At this moment, the Flying Rock Army and Sparrow Army quickly split into several small groups. Night Sorrow, Dachura, and Lin Xianer were in one group. Chapter 1643. The 3 of you will form a team. There are too few of you. I am Zhao Yang from the Zhaohua Empire. Let's form a team. Zhaohua walked towards Night Sorrow and the other 2 and said, No need. The 3 of us are enough. Dachura rejected immediately. She didn't want to interact with random people and didn't want to interact with them. If she formed a team with familiar people, she only needed to consider enemies and opponents. However, if she formed a team with unfamiliar opponents, she needed to consider many things because it was hard to guard against being schemed against by her own people. Beauty, don't reject me. One more member in the team means one more person to look after. Zhao Yang's face was still full of smiles. I already said that the three of us are enough. Don't you understand? Seeing that Zhao Yang didn't leave and still wanted to pester them, Night Sorrow spoke. Who do you think you are? Enough? You can take care of others. How can a trash heaven monarch speak so arrogantly? If the three of us are enough, you should be the one to leave. Zhao Yang looked at Night Sorrow and said. Zhao Yang said this because his cultivation was high and he was confident. He was a 2-star emperor. Compared to Yi Shang, who was a half-step emperor, he was more than 1.5 levels higher. Interesting. Are you trying to steal the limelight? Datura sneered and said. I'm not trying to steal the limelight. I just think that we will be more suitable to form a team. Zhao Yang still had a smile on his face. Do you think that you are awesome just because you are an emperor? Get lost. Lin Xianer was a little angry. At the same time, she leaked some of her aura to suppress Zhao Yang. Originally, she had concealed her aura and kept a low profile, but now she couldn't. Feeling Lin Xianer's aura, Zhao Yang's expression changed and he took a step back because he knew that he wasn't a match for her. Good. The three of you are very good. You will regret it later. Zhao Yang laughed and took a few steps back. Seeing Datura and Lin Xianer, Zhao Yang had some ideas. Originally, he wanted to team up with Night Sorrow and the other two. Since his cultivation was the highest, he wanted to find a way to kill Night Sorrow and then work on Datura and Lin Xianer. With his status and cultivation, he felt that it would be possible to gain the favor of the two girls. However, after coming into contact with them, Datura and Lin Xianer's reactions surprised him. They were too intense and did not give him any chance at all. But even if he was chased away, Zhao Yang felt that he still had a chance. Once he left the evil punishing gate at the entrance of the evil punishing grounds and went a certain distance away, he would be able to bring Zhao Shang out. He did not believe that Lin Xianer would be able to stop his imperial father. What kind of trash is this? Datura cursed. Since ancient times, beautiful women have always been a source of trouble. Ah. Night Sorrow laughed. He really did not mind this kind of thing. Even if it was an imperial father, he would still dare to fight. Hearing Night Sorrow and Datura's words, Zhao Yang was so angry that his hands trembled. Night Sorrow and the other two did not give him any face at all. Why? Knew fast, and Song Ning looked at Lin Xianer. If Lin Xianer wanted to kill, she would do it directly. She was not afraid of Zhao Hua dynasty. However, Lin Xianer shook her head. She still wanted to dig out some secrets from Zhao Hua. She was sure that Zhao Hua definitely had a backup plan. In addition, Zhao Hua also said that they would make them regret it later. This meant that they would make a move tomorrow night. Therefore, Lin Xianer decided to wait and see. If she delayed, she might be able to dig out the secrets that Zhao Hua dynasty knew. The team began to move forward. Night Sorrow and the other two walked at the back of the team. Night Sorrow, Aluo, the situation is a little complicated. The two of you should stay by my side. Lin Xianer said to Night Sorrow and Datura. Okay, Sister Xianer. We will be careful. Night Sorrow and Datura glanced at Zhao Yang who had left. Both of them understood that there would be many problems. After all, they had just entered. As they moved forward, Night Sorrow also held the air splitter spear in his hand. When some scattered evil spirits appeared, he would use his spear to fight them. The main purpose was to test the abilities and characteristics of the evil spirits. The battle was not intense now, so they could test it out. If the battle was intense, there would not be such an opportunity to test it out. There were fewer evil spirits. Night Sorrow and Datura also made a move. They had entered to fight. If there was an opportunity to learn more, they would take advantage of it. Lin Xianer did not make a move. She was very clear about the situation of the evil spirits. There was no need to test it out. Besides, her attention was on Zhao Yang. Just now, when Zhao Yang's emotions were fluctuating, Lin Xianer's soul power had clung onto his body. In order to avoid being discovered, Lin Xianer did not take the initiative to investigate. Instead, she slowly followed the flow of energy in Zhao Yang's body. After a round of investigation, Lin Xianer retracted her soul power. Her investigation was very clear. There was a treasure in Zhao Yang's body. It was Monarch Zhao Hua's Zhao Hua Palace. After everything was clear, Lin Xianer smiled. This situation showed that her guess was right. Zhao Shang had made some arrangements. If he did not come, then his protective treasure would not be on Zhaoyang. Some people's treasures would not leave their bodies. After occupying the evil Punisher land for so many years, Lin Xianer had not gained anything. Now that Zhao Shang had entered and wanted to reap benefits from the evil Punisher land, this was her chance. Zhao Shang had secret information about the evil Punisher land. If he wanted to make a move in the evil Punisher land, then it would depend on whose methods were better. The evil Punisher land had been growing for a long time. Although it had not reached the level of a great world, it was still a high-level world. The area was very large. Song Ning and Wu Feng led the team forward quickly. They wanted to enter a certain distance before carrying out the mission to kill the evil spirits. After flying for half a day, the group set up camp. After greeting everyone, Night Sorrow left the camp. For this kind of exploration to find opportunities, some backup plans had to be prepared. Only by having an escape route would they be safer. Night Sorrow was a half-step monarch and had the space-time attribute. After a short while he flew 300,000 miles away. He set up an illusion array and then set up a teleportation array in the center of the illusion array. This time, Night Sorrow used the Realm Teleportation Stone, which was the King-grade teleportation crystal. Then he made a few teleportation array discs. After doing all this, Night Sorrow returned to the camp. When Night Sorrow returned, he was faced with Zhao Yang's murderous gaze. In his world, Night Sorrow had dominated the two beauties. Ignoring Zhao Yang, Night Sorrow went to Lin Xianer and Datura's side and set up a tent. You're very experienced in setting up a tent. Did you always do this in the past? Lin Xianer asked. It's all right. Come, let's go in and rest. Night Sorrow called Lin Xianer and Datura into the tent. After entering the tent, Night Sorrow released the Nihility domain. After isolating himself from detection, he took out 2 teleportation array discs. This is the Realm Teleportation Array disc. After we go deep, if we encounter any danger, we can activate it and return directly. Chapter 1644. Yes, we don't know much about this evil Punisher land. Danger is always there, so we have to prepare an escape route. Aluo, you have a trap and kill array disc that can be used with a teleportation array disc. I won't give it to you. Sister Xianer, this is yours. Night Sorrow took out a trap and kill array disc and handed it to Lin Xianer. Array disc. I know how to make one too, but I haven't done it yet. I'll make more when I have time. Lin Xianer said. The array disc I make is of a low level, so it can only be used to catch people off guard. Sister Xianer, please don't laugh at me. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Lin Xianer was an array emperor teacher and a blacksmith emperor teacher. With these 2 skills, it wouldn't be difficult for her to make the array disc. How is that a joke? Your array disc is very good. Lin Xianer shook her head. Aluo, Sister Xianer, make a pot of tea first. I'll send the teleportation array disc to Boss Tsang and Brother Wu Feng. Night Sorrow left the tent and went to the main tent where Tsang Ning and Wu Feng were. Then he gave each of them 1 array disc. Brother, your arrangements are good. It solved our worries. Wu Feng looked at Night Sorrow and said, a man without foresight will have immediate worries. First, I'll set up a place to retreat. At least I have some confidence. Big Brother and Old Song, you guys go ahead. Night Sorrow nodded at Wu Feng and Song Ning and left the main tent. Wu Feng, your brother is powerful. Although his cultivation is a little weaker, it's hard for an ordinary initial emperor to kill him. Once he breaks through, he'll be the overlord of the initial emperor realm. In terms of strategy, he's almost perfect. Song Ning said with some emotion. Of course he's my brother. However, I see that the guy from Zhaohua dynasty is hostile to him. Don't use any underhanded means to trick him. Wu Feng said what he was worried about. Don't worry, Sister Xianer is here. Whoever looks down on Sister Xianer will pay a heavy price. Wu Feng, we have to respect her too. Song Ning said to Wu Feng. She didn't want Wu Feng to offend Lin Xianer unknowingly. I know, but I can't see through her. I know she's an expert, but I'm worried that she hasn't been in the underworld and doesn't know how evil people can be. The 3 of them are simple. Night Sorrow's smart, but he doesn't have the heart. He doesn't know how evil peoples. Okay, I'll be careful. Song Ning nodded. She knew that Wu Feng's judgment was correct under the circumstances of not knowing Lin Xianer's identity, because Lin Xianer was currently a very casual person. Inside the tent, Yishan poured himself a cup of tea. I wonder what Boss Tsang's arrangement will be after the actual operation. Will they split into groups or fight together? Once we go deeper, we should split up. This is a trip of opportunity. If we all swarm together, what opportunities will there be? Lin Xianer said. Okay, then the three of us will move together. It won't be a problem to be careful. If there's any danger, Sister Xianer, you take Aluo and retreat first. Night Sorrow said after taking a sip of tea. Okay, and there's something else. I have something to tell you too. I don't think that Zhao Yang is a good person. He's been sneaking around since he came in and even has designs on us. After we split up, we'll follow her and find a chance to kill him. Lin Xianer made a cutting motion at her neck. Sister Xianer, is this still you? Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xianer in surprise. What? Can't I want to kill someone? Just looking at his eyes makes me angry. Lin Xianer said. It's good that Sister Xianer thinks so. I also want to kill him. I didn't say it out loud because I was worried that Sister Xianer wouldn't be willing to do such a thing. As for Aluo, I don't know how many times he's been stabbed in his heart. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You know me. I'll dig out his perverted eyes sooner or later. Datura waved her fist. After resting for a night, the group continued forward. Everyone flew at full speed. Of course, they were flying at the speed of a Saint King. There was also a small number of Saint Kings in the group. They were soldiers trained by the Flying Rock Army and the Dancing Sparrow Army. Of course, most of the soldiers were King. Night Sorrow and the other two were at the back of the group. They were talking and laughing without any pressure. Most J Noon 8 Chapter Sway. After 3 days, the group came to a stop. This is our main camp this time. I'll always be here. You can split up and fight in groups. If you're tired or in danger, you can come back here. Remember, come back alive. We'll be retreating from here in 2.5 months. If you can't make it back by then, don't blame anyone. Also, I haven't introduced you. This is Monarch Wufeng. He's been invited by Lord Battle Emperor to join our Misty Dynasty. This time he's here to help us. Wufeng, do you have anything to say? Song Ning looked at Wufeng. Then I'll say a few words. Although we're here for opportunities, life is the most important. It's the foundation of everything. Don't force yourself when you're in danger. Wufeng said. Following this, the various small teams began to make their preparations. Once they were ready, they would set out to hunt evil spirits and collect evil spirit flames. This was a mission, but it was also a personal opportunity. Night Sorrow and the other two were also preparing in the tent. Night Sorrow gave each of them a colored glass pill. Sister Xianer, tell us what we need to pay attention to. Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xianer and asked. Night Sorrow, you're the leader of the three of us. You can arrange everything. I don't have any objections. However, I have some opinions on how to deal with Zhao Yang. You two have to support me. Lin Xianer said. Okay, no problem. Night Sorrow nodded. Everyone had the same attitude on this point. Sister Xianer, Night Sorrow, I can sense the location of the Yellow Spring River. After we've dealt with that bastard Zhao Yang, we'll set off for the Yellow Spring River. There must be many evil spirits by the river. After we complete the mission, we can get more. Datura said. Then it's settled. Night Sorrow took out a towel and wiped the Sky Splitter's spear. You have to be careful when dealing with Zhao Yang. That bastard has a spatial treasure in his body. There must be an expert inside. When the time comes, you guys will restrain Zhao Yang. I'll deal with the person inside the spatial treasure. Lin Xianer said. She didn't want to hide too much from Night Sorrow and Datura. Didn't you say that spatial treasures aren't allowed to carry people? Night Sorrow was stunned. This was something that had been notified before entering. You did very well. If I didn't have a special secret technique, I wouldn't have found him. The Zhaohua dynasty might be up to something big, so we have to trick them. Lin Xianer said. Chapter 1645. Yishang pondered for a moment, then said, Sister Xian, the consequences of this matter might be huge. We have a good relationship with Old Song. Shouldn't we talk to her? If we don't handle this well, it might affect the Misty Dynasty. We'll handle it well. Don't worry. Lin Xianer shook her head. If she couldn't handle it, then no one in the Misty Dynasty could. Alright. Then we'll do as Sister Xianer says. If we can't handle it, then we'll talk. Night Sorrow felt that it was a little inappropriate, but he didn't refute Lin Xianer's suggestion. Night Sorrow and the others packed up. They weren't in a hurry to leave. Instead, they paid attention to Radiant's movements. Radiant had roped in a half-step Emperor Realm loose cultivator to follow him. He didn't care about the other loose cultivators and felt that they were useless. Radiant and his teammates didn't leave either. Instead, they paid attention to Night Sorrow and the others. He had his own ideas. Seeing that Radiant didn't move, Night Sorrow smiled. Looks like we don't need to follow them. We can just move normally. He'll take the initiative to come to us. Lin Xian'er and Datura nodded. They knew that Radiant had the same idea. After making the decision, Night Sorrow and the others left the campsite and headed towards the area that Datura had sensed. The high-level evil spirits in the evil Punisher land were all produced by the Yellow Springs River. The Yellow Springs River was a very good location. Night Sorrow and the other two set off, as did Radiant and his opponent. His opponent was a rogue cultivator called Ghost Incarnate. This was a name he had come up with himself. He believed himself to be the incarnation of the devil, and his character was extremely bad. In the Misty Dynasty he was like a rat that everyone wanted to beat up. He had once been slapped in the face by an emperor, but he didn't dare to say anything. In reality he was a laughingstock. Now Radiant felt that he was more valuable and could be ordered around. Radiant and Ghost Incarnate followed Night Sorrow and the others out of the campsite. Radiant planned to find a suitable place to make his move. Night Sorrow, there's still a B*TCH following Zhaoyang. Why are they acting like idiots? Can't you tell who's better? Datura said. This is fate. Night Sorrow is the deluxe merit great sage and walks the path closest to the heavenly Tao. Some people with extremely bad character who should not have existed in this world would recklessly come looking for trouble. The deluxe merit great sage follows the heavenly Tao and will naturally eliminate them. They are just trash, there is no need to bother about them. Before Night Sorrow could speak, Lin Xian'er began to explain. Since it's trash, there's nothing more to say. Let's just kill it. Night Sorrow nodded. This kind of small fry with bad character and messing around won't live long no matter where they go. It's just that they don't know it. Lin Xian'er said as they flew. Night Sorrow and the others flew while Radiant and Ghost Incarnate followed behind. In order to avoid losing Radiant and Ghost Incarnate, Night Sorrow and the others did not increase their speed and just flew normally. If there were any evil spirits they would kill them along the way. Of course there was nothing to gain. Evil spirits without bodies had no flames of life. Without bodies, evil spirits existed in the form of energy. Physical attacks including weapon attacks were useless. However, Night Sorrow and Datura both had their own unique skills. Night Sorrow's time oscillation wave was a trump card against evil spirits. Datura's unique skill was Death's Annihilation Slash. If he did not use his unique skill, a normal Annihilation Slash would be fatal to evil spirits. Lin Xian'er did not make a move because there was no need to. After flying for a day, Night Sorrow and the others set up camp at night. This time Night Sorrow set up 2 tents. It did not matter if they were in front of others. Now they needed to avoid suspicion. Night Sorrow had his own tent. After finding out that Night Sorrow had set up camp, Radiant Soul Power communicated with Emperor Zhao Shang, asking if she could come out. After receiving Radiant's message, Zhao Shang and his bodyguards appeared. Who is he? Zhao Shang appeared and his domain enveloped Ghost Incarnate. It was best if he did not reveal his presence. Therefore he wanted to kill anyone he saw. Father, don't worry. He's just a small fry. Radiant said. Ghost Incarnate was stunned when he saw Zhao Shang. He then bowed and said, Don't worry, my lord. This lowly one is willing to serve you. Remember, be a good dog. I am the Emperor of the Radiant Dynasty. If you don't listen, I can crush you as easily as crushing an ant. Zhao Shang coldly looked at Ghost Incarnate. Then, Radiant explained the current situation. It's actually Tsang Ning and Wu Feng leading the team. It's not a big deal if they're alone, but if the two of them work together, it will be hard to defeat them quickly. If they can hold on until Lin Piaomiao arrives, it will be troublesome. It's better to keep a low profile. After hearing about the leader of the Misty Dynasty, Zhao Shang thought for a moment and made a decision. Father, please help Younger once. Radiant bowed and said. What's the matter? Zhao Shang nodded. There's a man and 2 women in that direction. The man's cultivation is trash and I can kill him. However, there's a woman whose cultivation is higher than mine. Father, please capture her. I want to tame those 2 women. Radiant spoke his thoughts. Alright, I'll help you deal with them. After investigating, Zhao Shang found Night Sorrow and the others. At this moment, Lin Xian'er stood up. They've appeared. There's 2 of them. It's not a big problem. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll go kill them. After speaking, a long sword appeared in Lin Xian'er's hand. Her body flashed and she flew towards Zhao Shang's group. After Lin Xian'er arrived, she paused for a moment. Zhao Shang, you're the Emperor of the Radiant Dynasty? After speaking, Lin Xian'er changed direction and flew away quickly. Lin Xian'er had no choice. She didn't want to reveal too much in front of Night Sorrow and Datura. That would create a sense of distance and hurt their friendship. Therefore, she suppressed her cultivation to a level lower than Zhao Shang's and pretended not to know him. Then she lured Zhao Shang away. "You're fast but you can't escape. Tang Shu, follow me. Let's go around and intercept them." Zhao Shang shouted at his bodyguard. His bodyguard was a flying rat demon beast. Its first master's surname was Tang, so it was called Tang Shu. Zhao Shang and Tang Shu went to chase after Lin Xianer, while Zhao Yang and Ghost Incarnation flew towards Night Sorrow and Datura. He was wary of Lin Xianer. Now that Lin Xianer wasn't here, he was naturally not afraid of Night Sorrow and Datura as a two-star emperor. "Aluo, follow me to kill that Zhao Yang. You don't have to care about that scum," Night Sorrow reminded Datura. Then he activated the mysterious yellow armor. He planned to ignore Ghost Incarnation and deal with Zhao Yang together with Datura. After a while, the four of them flew together. "Ghost Incarnation, kill this trash. If you can kill this young emperor, I'll give you a great merit." Zhao Yang shouted at Ghost Incarnation. "I'll definitely kill him." Ghost Incarnation had a strong servile nature. After seeing Zhao Shang and knowing Zhao Yang's identity, he was dead set on working for Zhao Yang. Zhao Yang's arrangement was exactly what Night Sorrow wanted. His body flashed and he charged towards Zhao Yang. Chapter 1646. Night Sorrow used the True Dragon Destruction Art. He was more worried about Lin Xianer, so he did not want to waste any time. Datura also used her ultimate move, the Death Destruction Slash. Her opponent was a two-star emperor, so she did not hold back at all. Under the influence of the True Dragon Destruction Art, Bright Sun's body paused for a moment. His soul was affected. At this moment, a majestic soul power appeared in his head to block the damage caused by Night Sorrow's True Dragon Destruction Art on his spirit sea. Min Sichar 5*13 KQ. Night Sorrow's space-splitting spear was also blocked by Bright Sun's battle blade, but Datura's hollow blade slashed at his chest. The armor on Bright Sun's body burst out with light, blocking Datura's hollow blade attack. However, energy still poured into his body. The space-splitting spear was blocked by Bright Sunday. Night Sorrow took a step forward and dodged Ghost Incarnation's sword. Then he used the True Dragon Destruction Art. He did not want Bright Sun to have a chance to attack. His first move, the True Dragon Destruction Art, was blocked by Bright Sun, but then Datura's Death Destruction Slash's negative effect was added to Bright Sun's body. Night Sorrow's True Dragon Destruction Art's space-time and soul influence was added to Bright Sun's body again. Then the energy on the space-splitting spear changed into the Nihility Origin Kill. Datura was the same. She used the Death Destruction Slash again. She wanted to control Bright Sun alternately with Night Sorrow. Bright Sun was a two-star emperor. If he attacked freely, it would not be easy to defend. Bright Sun was very angry, but he was also very clear-headed. However, his soul was constantly being attacked. He did not have the ability to dodge, move, or defend. Sensing the power of Night Sorrow's move, Bright Sun waved his battle blade and blocked the path of Night Sorrow's space-splitting spear. Break! Night Sorrow roared and activated the Myriad Tau Tome. The energy of the virtuous immortal body flowed into his arms and the space-splitter spear continued to attack. As the purple energy gathered in one place, the energy of the void returned to Origin Kill completely exploded. In an instant, 1/3 of Zhao Yang's saber was destroyed and it was blasted away. Then, the air-splitting spear exerted a second force and performed the void return to Origin Kill, continuing to pierce forward. The space-splitting spear pierced Clear Sun's chest, but was blocked by Clear Sun's armor. However, Night Sorrow's attack was not over yet. The purple halo on the tip of the sky-splitting spear exploded. A hole appeared in Bright Sun's armor, and the space-splitter spear pierced through Bright Sun's body with the support of Night Sorrow's virtuous immortal body. However, at this time, Ghost Incarnation's sword also pierced Night Sorrow's back. This time, in order to achieve victory, Night Sorrow did not dodge Ghost Incarnation's attack. Night Sorrow's mysterious yellow armor exploded with a halo of energy and blocked Ghost Incarnation's sword attack. At the same time, his arms exerted strength and the space-splitter spear continued to pierce Bright Sun's body. Bright Sun waved his broken battle blade and slashed towards Night Sorrow's neck. At this time he had to force Night Sorrow to retreat, or his life would be in danger. However, at this time, Datura's hollow blade also slashed towards Bright Sun's back. Defense. Night Sorrow raised his left arm and blocked Bright Sun's attack. Then he used Afterimage Body and his bloodline talent erupted. Space Splitter Spear slashed behind him twice. Night Sorrow did this to avoid Ghost Incarnation's second attack. His body could block Ghost Incarnation's attack, but if Ghost Incarnation used his sword to slash at his head, he would not be able to take it. Night Sorrow defended, and Bright Sun also poured energy into his armor to defend against Datura's attack. Muffled sounds continuously rang out. Bright Sun hastily attacked, but was unable to cut through Night Sorrow's left arm, which was protected by the mysterious yellow armor and virtuous immortal body. Datura's hollow blade also landed solidly on Bright Sun's back. However, it did not break through Bright Sun's armor. It was not because Bright Sun's armor was powerful, but because Bright Sun's 2-star Emperor-level energy cultivation was very strong. It supported the armor to block Datura's attack. Datura's attack did not break through Bright Sun's defense, but the enormous power caused Bright Sun to lose his balance. His body was slashed forward, causing Night Sorrow's space-splitting spear to penetrate deeper into Bright Sun's body. He did not have the opportunity to escape from the space-splitting spear. The space-splitting spear penetrated deep into Bright Sun's body, giving Night Sorrow the opportunity to continue his killing blow. The void energy burst through the space-splitting spear and rushed into Bright Sun's body. Then it exploded with the void extreme kill. Following a muffled sound, Bright Sun's chest exploded. Even his dantian was violently shaken. "You're messing around. Go die." Night Sorrow's right arm did not have much energy. However, for the sake of defense, his left arm was filled with energy. At this moment, his left arm smashed down, smashing onto the space-splitting spear's shaft. This allowed the space-splitting spear to continue cutting downwards. He did not consider Ghost Incarnation's attack. This was because other than his afterimage, Datura would also block Ghost Incarnation's attack. Reality was as such. After slashing Bright Sun, Datura attacked Ghost Incarnation with all his strength. He did not give Ghost Incarnation a chance to attack or interfere with Night Sorrow. Following a ripping sound, Bright Sun's abdomen was also cut open. His dantian was shattered, and the energy in his body was completely removed. "You want to kill me? Do you have the right to do so?" Night Sorrow's left elbow smashed out horizontally, sending Bright Sun, whose chest and abdomen had been destroyed beyond recognition, flying. Then he chased after Bright Sun in the air. Bright Sun's eyes were filled with fear. A spear pierced through his forehead, shattering his immortal sea. Not only was Bright Sun's immortal sea shattered, but his head was also blown away. A palace-shaped treasure flew out. Night Sorrow waved his arm and imprisoned it. Then he threw it into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then, without caring about the spoils of war, he attacked Ghost Incarnation, who was being suppressed by Datura. "Trash. You don't want to be a good person and insist on being a dog. Then die." Night Sorrow used the true dragon destruction art. Ghost Incarnation already had a huge amount of pressure to block Datura. Now that Night Sorrow was added, there was no possibility of him being able to withstand it. In just a moment, Night Sorrow's space-splitting spear pierced through his head and killed him completely. "Hurry up and pack up. Let's go see what's going on with Sister Xian'er." Night Sorrow went to Bright Sun's side and took off his armor and storage ring. Datura also took Ghost Incarnation's storage ring and weapons. "Let's go." Night Sorrow led Datura in the direction Lin Xian'er flew. At this moment, 1,000,000 miles away from Night Sorrow's battlefield, another battle was going on. It was Lin Xian'er's battle with Zhao Shang and Tang Xu. Lin Xian'er used the strength of a peak sovereign emperor, but Zhao Shang, who was also a peak sovereign emperor, was no match for her. He was suppressed and kept retreating. After repelling Zhao Shang, Lin Xian'er's body flashed twice and attacked Tang Xu. Now it was 2 against 1. Lin Xian'er was not afraid of 2 against 1, but she was worried that Zhao Shang would restrain her and then Tang Xu would attack Night Sorrow and Datura. That way she would be afraid of attacking the rat for fear of breaking the vases. Lin Xian'er, who was attacking Tang Xu, suddenly released her aura. The power of her domain pressed Tang Xu's body to the point that he staggered. Then a sword light flashed and split Tang Xu's body into 2. Chapter 1647. Zhao Shang, you want to play tricks with me? You're still too inexperienced. You want to eat meat in the territory of the Ethereal Empire? Do you think you can do it without even greeting me? Lin Xian'er's aura changed. It became deep, ethereal, and vast. Ethereal Battle Emperor. Why are you here? Zhao Shang's expression changed. He was very wary of the ethereal battle emperor because the two of them could not be compared. He was an imperial emperor. Even if he was a peak imperial emperor, he could not fight with an imperial emperor. They were not on the same level. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Lin Xian'er attacked. She was worried about the safety of Knight Sorrow and Datura Datura. After all, Zhao Yang was a 2-star imperial emperor. He was much stronger than Knight Sorrow and Datura Datura. There was a huge gap between them. There was also Buttface following Zhao Yang. Buttface's ghost incarnation was also a half-step imperial emperor. He still had some strength. Lin Xian'er, who had used all her strength, was not something Zhao Shang could resist. He was suppressed and retreated. Losing his footing was the beginning of his defeat. Zhao Shang was constantly hit by Lin Xian'er's sword aura. In order to suppress the sword aura's damage to his body, his strength was greatly reduced. In less than half a cup of tea's time, Zhao Shang's body was destroyed by Lin Xian'er's sword aura. He did not have the strength to continue fighting and his head was split open by Lin Xian'er's sword aura. Then Lin Xian'er took Zhao Shang's storage ring, weapons and protective treasures. When Lin Xian'er flew back, she met Knight Sorrow and Datura Datura who were rushing over. Knight Sorrow, Aluo, are you okay? Sister Xian'er, how are you? After seeing each other, both sides asked anxiously. Those two bastards were killed by me and Aluo, Knight Sorrow said. So domineering. 2 half-step imperial emperors killed a 2-star imperial emperor and a half-step imperial emperor without any injuries. It's too rare. Lin Xian'er felt more at ease. At the same time, she also had a new understanding of Knight Sorrow and Datura Datura's strength. While they might be able to fight those of a higher level, fighting those of a higher level was too difficult. Sister Xian'er, what's the matter with you? Knight Sorrow asked. You killed 2 dogs and Sister Xian'er also killed 2 old fellows. They were from the Zhao Shang Empire, Lin Xian'er said. That's great. This is a complete victory. Let's go back to camp and clean up the spoils of war, Knight Sorrow said. After that, the 3 of them returned to the campsite and began to count their spoils. Holding Clear Sun's storage ring, Knight Sorrow inspected it and found that there was still a soul imprint. He understood that he had killed Clear Sun's clone. Knight Sorrow knew that this was normal. In order to avoid risks, many cultivators would cultivate with their true bodies, while their avatars would appear to resolve disputes and fortuitous encounters. This needs to be refined slowly. His soul imprint is very strong, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. He was a half-step imperial emperor, so it was very difficult for him to refine a 2-star imperial emperor's soul imprint. Give it to me, I'll settle it for you. Lin Xian'er reached out to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow handed the storage ring to Lin Xian'er. With just a soul attack, the soul imprint on Clear Sun's storage ring was destroyed by Lin Xian'er's soul power. What else do you have? Give it to Sister Xian'er and I'll settle it for you? Lin Xian'er asked with a smile. She knew that Knight Sorrow could not have only obtained 1 storage ring. Then I'll have to trouble Sister Xian'er. Knight Sorrow took out Clear Sun's broken armor and palace-shaped treasure. What's going on? A good armor was damaged to this extent by you. This treasure is even more impressive. Lin Xian'er looked at Knight Sorrow in astonishment. When an armor was broken, it was usually a hole made by a weapon. However, there was a hole the size of a human head in the chest area of the armor. Lin Xian'er also recognized the palace-shaped treasure. It was Zhao Shang's protective treasure, the Clear Splendor Palace. It's not easy to severely injure him without destroying his armor. Although he doesn't have a soul defensive treasure, his soul power is very strong. I couldn't care less at that time. Knight Sorrow said. It's not a problem to repair it. It's better than refining an armor. After erasing the soul imprint on the armor, Lin Xian'er handed it to Knight Sorrow. Is this treasure very powerful? Knight Sorrow asked Lin Xian'er after keeping the armor. Clear Sun is an idiot. He didn't unleash the power of this treasure. What is this? It's the Clear Splendor Dynasty's most precious treasure, the Clear Splendor Palace. It's the protective treasure of the Clear Splendor Overlord, Zhao Shang. It will take some time to erase the soul imprint. Lin Xian'er looked at the palace-shaped treasure and said. Lin Xian'er could instantly erase the soul imprint of a 2-star Emperor Realm cultivator. However, Zhao Shang's soul imprint would take some effort. Okay, then I'll have to trouble Sister Xian'er. Knight Sorrow said. Then I'll use the treasure that accelerates time first. Lin Xian'er nodded at Knight Sorrow. Then her body flashed and disappeared. After brewing a pot of tea, Knight Sorrow took out the Holy Spirit stones, elixirs and materials from Clear Sun's storage ring and organized them. Ah Luo, if Sister Shenner needs that palace-shaped treasure, give it to her. Knight Sorrow said to Datura. Okay. If it weren't for Sister Shenner keeping an eye on the two old guys, it would be difficult for us to achieve anything. Datura nodded. She was not an unreasonable person. While the two of them were talking, Lin Shenner appeared and placed the clear splendor palace in front of Knight Sorrow. Not bad. There are quite a lot of materials inside. Starter Alan Shenner understood. In fact, the clear splendor palace should be held by Zhao Shang. Perhaps because she appeared too suddenly, Zhao Shang did not have time to take back the protective treasure from his son. In addition, Zhao Shang was confident in himself. Some of his treasures were placed in the clear splendor palace and had not been transferred away. Therefore, Knight Sorrow had benefited from it. Sister Shenner, I didn't see you have any protective treasure. This clear splendor palace is the most precious treasure of the clear splendor dynasty. It should be suitable for Sister Shenner. Knight Sorrow said. You're saying that you'll give this clear splendor palace to me? Lin Shenner looked at Knight Sorrow in surprise. She had never thought of this. Clear splendor was killed by Knight Sorrow and Datura. The spoils of war naturally belong to Knight Sorrow and Datura. Yes, since we're a team, whoever needs it can take it. Knight Sorrow nodded. He did not care much about external objects. No need. Sister Shenner has a protective treasure. But your attitude is the best gift to Sister Shenner, Lin Shenner said. Lin Shenner said. She was truly moved because Yi Shang had treated her with sincerity, and there was nothing fake about it. That's fine too. Aluo, you take it. We'll benefit a lot from it. Knight Sorrow handed the clear splendor palace to Datura. Then Sister Shenner, I won't stand on ceremony. Datura said with a smile. Chapter 1648. That's a good thing. They lost the chance to get the treasure because they didn't have the fortune. This fortune should belong to Sister Shenner, said Knight Sorrow. In your words, if we get it, whoever is suitable can use it, said Lin Shenner. If it was in the past, she wouldn't have said such words because if she wanted it, others couldn't have it. She wouldn't give others a chance, but it was different now. Zhaohua Palace was such a great treasure, and Knight Sorrow took it out just like that, which changed some of Lin Shenner's thoughts. Ah, that's an opportunity that belongs to Sister Shenner. We'll work hard to find it. Knight Sorrow shook his head. He was a man of principle. Then I'll talk about the information I got. Guizhou had two treasures, one was the ghost eye and the other was the ghost wings. Guizhou was killed by the Great Demon King, and the ghost eye was obtained by the Great Demon King. The whereabouts of the ghost wings are unknown, which means that the ghost wings weren't with Guizhou at that time. The ghost wings disappeared after Guizhou threw in the space world's origin, so it's very likely that Guizhou left the ghost wings in the evil Punisher land. The people of Zhaohua dynasty don't know where the ghost wings are, but they found a way to find it. They refined a treasure that can find the ghost wings, said Lin Shenner. What treasure can we use to find the ghost wings? Asked Datura. The ghost ancestor is proficient in the death attribute. The death attribute is a fusion of time and space attribute energy, supplemented by a powerful spiritual force, creating the name, Ghost Ancestor. The fusion of these energies is also known as Ghost Force. The people of the Zhaohua dynasty refined an array disk with Ghost Force. Once there is a power of the same origin, this array disk will react. Lin Shenner took out an array disk, which she had found in Zhao Shang's storage ring. This evil Punisher land is quite big, so it's more difficult to find things. However, with the disk array, it's relatively easier, said Knight Sorrow after thinking for a while. We have to thank the people of Zhaohua dynasty for this. They've made a wedding dress for us, said Lin Shenner with a smile. Lin Shenner said with a smile. She was in a good mood. She had long disliked Zhao Shang and the Zhaohua dynasty. Otherwise, she would not have made things difficult for the Zhaohua dynasty's great elder, Zhao Muyu. Then let's go to the core area first. The Yellow Springs River should be a more important place in the evil Punisher land, Knight Sorrow said. Wait a moment, let's split the treasures in this Zhaohua palace first. This guy is really rich. Datura said. Since Lin Shenner had erased the spirit imprint of the Bright Flower Palace, it was very easy for Datura to recognize it as its master. After recognizing it as its master, Datura discovered the resources stored within the Bright Flower Palace. I don't need it. After so many years, I don't lack resources. You and Knight Sorrow can take it. Lin Shenner naturally knew that there were many treasures in the Bright Flower Palace, but she did not touch a single Holy Spirit stone. This was her principle. She would not do anything that would cause her heart to be covered in dust. Datura then took out the resources in the Bright Flower Palace. There were 3 million Holy Spirit stones, which were placed outside the tent like a small mountain. Other than that, there were materials. There were many kinds of Emperor-grade materials for refining weapons. Night Sorrow even found level 9 materials for refining pills and a jar of golden red blood. Sister Shinner, what kind of blood is this? Why is it so rich in energy? Night Sorrow asked Lin Shinner. This is the blood of the Black Tortoise of the Divine Beast clan. Cultivate your body. Once you enter the Emperor realm, you can refine it to strengthen your body, Lin Shinner said after taking a look. Night Sorrow and Datura then kept the resources and moved forward according to Datura's senses. Original $5 Chapter 8 Unspecified currency above equals. Datura's original form was the Datura flower. She was born and grew up on the banks of the Yellow Spring River so she could sense the river. In the Bright Flower Palace of the Bright Flower Dynasty, Zhao Shang smashed a dragon pillar with a punch and then slapped Zhao Yang, who was kneeling on the ground. Lin Piamiao, I Zhao Shang, and you are irreconcilable. Zhao Shang's eyes were filled with red light. He was extremely angry. Not only had he lost an opportunity, but he had also lost a clone. This was a loss that was difficult to make up for. The loss of his clone was huge. What Zhao Shang could not accept the most was the loss of his protective treasure, the Bright Flower Palace. This had caused him to lose a part of his battle strength and his defensive ability. Father, please calm down. Zhao Yang knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. His voice was soft. He knew that he had caused a disaster this time. The Bright Flower Palace had been lost in his hands. Bastard, you only know how to think with your lower body. Do you know who you have offended? Among them was Misty Battle Emperor's clone. Tell me, do you not deserve to die? Zhao Shang kicked Zhao Yang again. Your Majesty, please calm down. What we need to consider now is how to deal with the aftermath. Zhao Muyu, who was standing on the side, said. This is a crisis for our Bright Flower Dynasty. My clone has fallen and my protective treasure has been lost. If Misty Dynasty attacks, we can't stop them. Of course, we couldn't in the past, but Misty Dynasty didn't have a suitable reason to attack. But now they do. Plus, we can't stop them even without Lin Piamiao's help. Zhao Shang said angrily. We did lose a lot, but Lin Piamiao won't care about this. She will only settle the score with us. We schemed against her entering Evil Punisher land. Zhao Muyu said. We can only endure and use compensation to appease Lin Piamiao's anger. So, we have lost a rare opportunity to turn the situation around. Zhao Shang sighed. The situation was not good, so he had to compromise. That's the only way. Zhao Muyu also felt humiliated. But he knew that it was Bright Flower Dynasty that provoked Misty Dynasty first. Men, lock this bastard up. If Misty Battle Emperor's anger can't be appeased, then drag this bastard out and punish him in front of Misty Battle Emperor. He really doesn't know what's good for him to have designs on Misty Battle Emperor. Zhao Shang was very angry. If Zhao Yang left the team alone, he would have a chance to find Gui Yi after he came out. Zhao Yang was locked up by the guards of Bright Flower Palace. Zhao Shang was still thinking about how to exchange for his protective treasure, Bright Flower Palace. He didn't expect that Bright Flower Palace wasn't in Lin Piamiao's hands. Instead, it was owned by Datura. Great Elder, send someone to investigate. The man and woman beside Lin Piamiao are both half-step emperors. They should be very close to Lin Piamiao. Otherwise, the three of them wouldn't be together. They can't tolerate Zhao Yang's team. Zhao Shang said to Zhao Muyu. Then I will arrange it immediately. Find out their background. Zhao Muyu nodded. If Lin Piamiao doesn't give up, then we can only make a move on the man and woman here to make Lin Piamiao hesitate. That way Bright Flower Dynasty can avoid a disaster. Also, I have to go to Celestial Sect to make some preparations. Zhao Shang said. Chapter 1649. In the Celestial Realm there weren't many Emperor Realm experts, but there were still some. Some Emperor Realm cultivators would form factions, but they would only be second-rate factions. Factions led by Emperor Realm experts were first-rate factions, while factions led by Battle Emperors were top-rate factions. If a region had a top-rate faction, then the other first-rate and second-rate factions would have to bow their heads and wouldn't dare to act recklessly. The region that Night Sorrow was in was called the Ethereal Region in the Celestial Realm. It was led by the Ethereal Empire, but there were more first-rate and second-rate factions. It was mainly because the Ethereal Empire didn't engage in many external battles. The alliance of peak Emperor Realm experts could also exert pressure on an Emperor Realm expert. They might not be an Emperor Realm expert's match, but in a power struggle, if a top-rate faction fought against two first-rate factions, it could be destroyed, but it would also hurt their vitality. The Celestial Sect was outstanding among the first-rate factions because they had more than one Emperor Realm expert and two peak Emperor Realm experts. The last time they had a conflict with the Ethereal Dynasty, the Celestial Sect lost two of their Emperor-level elders. The Ethereal Dynasty didn't carry out a large-scale extermination because they would also suffer losses if they carried out a war of extermination. Zhao Shang came to the Celestial Sect to find an ally. In the Ethereal Empire's region, the most suitable ally for the Zhaohua Empire was the Celestial Sect. The Celestial Sect had two peak Emperor Realm experts and puppets that could increase their battle strength. Anyone would have scruples. If an Emperor Realm expert used an Emperor Realm puppet, it would be a tyrannical existence among the Emperor Realm experts. It could even protect itself in front of an Emperor Realm expert. Of course, it also depended on the level of the Emperor Realm expert. Zhao Shang found Ling Daoshu. Ling Daoshu was the Celestial Sect's sect master with the title of Daoshu Emperor. Zhao Shang expressed that he was willing to become an ally with the Celestial Sect. If the Celestial Sect was in trouble, the Zhaohua Empire would definitely help. If the Zhaohua Empire was being pressured by the Ethereal Empire, he would ask the Celestial Sect to lend a helping hand. Ling Daoshu agreed and swore a blood oath, establishing a true alliance between the two sides. An alliance wasn't only needed by the Zhaohua Empire, but also by the Celestial Sect. Zhao Shang, who felt a little more at ease, left the Celestial Sect. Although he had formed an alliance with the Celestial Sect, Zhao Shang was still working on the matter of compensation. With an alliance, Zhao Shang didn't dare and wasn't willing to start a war with the Ethereal Emperor dynasty. The Ethereal Battle Emperor was an expert on the Celestial Demon ranking, one of the best among the emperors. Even if 3 emperors worked together, it wouldn't be enough. The only pressure they could bring to the Ethereal Battle Emperor was that if they started a war, the Ethereal Emperor dynasty would be affected. On a personal level, the alliance of the emperors had no effect on the emperors. Within the Evil Punisher grounds, Night Sorrow and the other 2 flew towards the area that Datura had sensed. Along the way they encountered more and more evil spirits. Night Sorrow and the other 2 would choose to take action whenever they had a body, as the Fire of Life was a resource. Night Sorrow and Datura didn't need Lin Xin to take action. In fact, Datura didn't even need to take action. Night Sorrow dealt with a few evil spirits on his own. Night Sorrow could even kill a 2-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. In terms of combat power, a 2-star Emperor Realm evil spirit might be slightly stronger than a cultivator, but it lacked intelligence. Under the influence of an absolute art, Night Sorrow could kill it. Your husband is amazing. He has such combat power as a half-step emperor. Once he enters the Emperor Realm, his combat power will increase tremendously. He will definitely be able to defeat anyone in the Emperor Realm, Lin Xin said to Datura, who was standing beside her and watching the battle. Yi Shang has only been cultivating for a short period of time. Compared to other half-step emperors, he is not even as long as ordinary emperors. However, he has been through battles. He is not a flower in a greenhouse, said Mandela. He is the region lord of your place, the founder of an era. He has indeed experienced much more than ordinary cultivators. Lin Xin nodded. At this moment, Night Sorrow was fighting a 1-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. Under the influence of the destructive True Dragon secret art, Night Sorrow attacked alternately with the Void Return to Origin kill and the Void Extreme kill, easily killing this 1-star Emperor Realm evil spirit. Night Sorrow waved his left hand. Energy wrapped around the red fire of life and stored it in a jade bottle. Then he threw it to Lin Xin. Lin Xin smiled and threw the jade bottle back to Night Sorrow. You have already given me 3 fire of life of the Emperor Realm evil spirit. It is enough to complete the mission. Take the rest. You will need it to enter the Emperor Realm. That's fine too. Let's kill with all our might first and see how many resources we can obtain. Then we will distribute them. Night Sorrow did not argue and put the jade bottle containing the fire of life into his storage ring. Night Sorrow, we have completed our mission with Sister Xin. What's left is to look for opportunities, Datura said. Sister Xin, is there any reaction from your array disk? Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xin. Right now, the biggest opportunity, or rather the opportunity for Lin Xin to fight, was Ghost Wings. Not yet, but there is no rush. If we can find it, then it is an opportunity. If we can't find it, then the opportunity has not arrived. Lin Xian'er said. In fact, she was not in a hurry. The evil Punisher land was under her control and the sealing array was also set up by her. She could come in whenever she wanted. If there was really ghost wings in this evil Punisher land, she was not afraid that she would not be able to find him. Night Sorrow nodded and did not say anything. He continued to move forward. If there were any evil spirits, he would kill them. No matter what level they were, as long as they were discovered, they would be completely destroyed. Originally, Night Sorrow was not like this. He only killed high-level evil spirits. It was Lin Xian'er who told him that killing evil spirits would weaken the source power of the evil Punisher land. This would reduce the damage that the evil Punisher land would cause to the celestial realm. This would be a merit to the celestial realm. More equals W /B fastest %\top. Perhaps help and harm were relative. For the celestial realm it was help, but for the evil Punisher land it was harm. However, there was good and evil in the heavenly Tao. Good was good, evil was evil. Killing evil spirits was good, and that was good. With Lin Xian'er's explanation, Night Sorrow did not hesitate to kill evil spirits. He began to kill as soon as he found them. Jade bottles were filled to the brim with flames of life. There were flames floating in the bottles. Flames of life existed in the form of flames. Each flame was a flame of life. Night Sorrow's pill bottles were not very good, so he refined a few bottles with arrays to store the flames of life. Night Sorrow had already filled 3 bottles. Each bottle contained 100 flames of life. There was 1 Emperor-level flame of life. Night Sorrow killed 4 Emperor-level evil spirits. However, he gave Lin Xian'er 3 Emperor-level flames of life. Lin Xian'er was an Emperor-level cultivator and had a mission to obtain 3 Emperor-level flames of life. Night Sorrow, aren't you going to differentiate between the two? Your Aluo is a level 8 flame of life. You can complete the mission with a level 8 flame of life. Lin Xian'er could not help but ask when she saw Night Sorrow fill 60 flames of life and throw them to Datura to complete the mission. No need. We can continue to collect flames of life. Taking out 60 flames of life to complete the mission is no big deal. This opportunity was given by the Misty Dynasty. We should not haggle over such small gains and losses. That would seem petty. Besides, it is Old Man Song who is leading the team. We cannot make things difficult for our friends. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1650. Hiding? That's nothing. Everyone has their own privacy and needs their own space. It's fine as long as you're not lying. If you're lying, then you're not friends. Real friends wouldn't do that, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. It's good that you think that way. There are some things that I can't tell you, but I'm not lying, Lin Xian'er said as she looked at Night Sorrow and Datura. Sister Xian'er, you're thinking too much. Everyone has their own privacy. We'll remember the help you've given to me and Aluo, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xian'er nodded. She knew that this was Night Sorrow. He treated people with sincerity and was considerate of others. You're a simple person, but you have to understand the dangers of the celestial realm. You have to pay more attention to everything. After a moment of silence, Lin Xian'er reminded Night Sorrow. She was a little worried that Night Sorrow would be at a disadvantage because of his attitude. I won't. Because I'm a virtuous person, I can differentiate between good and evil. I'll be able to sense those who are scheming against me. Also, I don't make friends randomly. After arriving in the celestial realm, I seem to have deep interactions with Boss Tsang, Brother Wufeng, and Sister Xian'er, Night Sorrow said. Tsang Ning is very smart and capable, but he's not good at scheming. He's very friendly to his friends. As for Wufeng, although we've just met, from his deep personality, he's destined not to have many friends. However, he'll treat his friends with sincerity. You didn't misjudge them. Of course, they didn't misjudge you either, Lin Xian'er said her evaluation of Tsang Ning and Wufeng. Ah. Sister Xian'er didn't say anything about herself or us, Datura said with a smile. Is there a need to say anything? I don't think there's a need to say anything, Lin Xian'er shook her head. That's true. There's no need to say anything. Sometimes words are weak. Datura nodded. From the moment Lin Xian'er refused to return the origin stone of destruction to her and even hid it from Night Sorrow, she understood Lin Xian'er's character. As they continued forward, Datura mentioned that he felt that Edgeless and Tsang Ning were suitable candidates. Aluo, now that you mention it, that's really the case. Let's go back and set them up. No matter how successful a man is, he needs a warm family. No matter how strong a woman is, she still needs someone who cares about her. Lin Xianer was stunned by Dachura's words and felt a little emotional. At the same time she felt that what Dachura said made sense. She was very clear about the relationship between Song Ning and Wu Feng. In the main camp, Song Ning and Wu Feng sat opposite each other, drinking from a jar of wine. I wonder how Night Sorrow and the others are doing. I should tell them not to wander too far. I should also give them a message crystal. Edgeless looked outside the camp, a hint of worry in his eyes. It's fine. You don't have to worry. The three of them are very strong. Song Ning said. She felt the most secure. Night Sorrow and Dachura were together with Lin Xianer. They couldn't be any safer. It was much safer than this camp. Yeah, I'm just worried for nothing. Edgeless nodded. I wonder what the Battle Empress has planned for you. She won't keep you in Song Ning Manor, but I'm not sure what position you'll be placed in. Song Ning changed the topic. Most knee above that's not important. The Battle Empress has treated me with sincerity. I've joined the Misty Dynasty, so it's very appropriate for me to contribute to the Misty Dynasty. Besides, I feel a sense of belonging. In the future I'll be someone with a strong background. Edgeless smiled. Of course. In the past you lived in the Misty Dynasty but you were just a rogue cultivator. Now it's different. Not to mention other places, just in this region, anyone who dares to order you around is courting death. Song Ning said. That was the truth. In the past, Edgeless was a rogue cultivator. Other cultivators were wary of his strength and friends, but he didn't have a strong background. Song Ning could help Edgeless, but that was from a personal point of view. There was a limit to how much he could help. Song Ning's words and actions represented the Misty Dynasty. But now it was different. Edgeless was personally invited by the Misty Battle Empress. Anyone who harmed Edgeless was disrespecting the Misty Battle Empress and the Misty Dynasty. The Misty Battle Empress and the Misty Dynasty wouldn't tolerate it. I understand. Also, help me gather information about the Wind Boundary. I don't have the talent of a matriarchal family. According to the Battle Empress, I might be from the Wind Boundary. My amnesiac father might be from the Wind Boundary, Edgeless said. Edgeless was a little sad. He was the only one in the heart of that amnesiac man. Edgeless gave up everything for him. All right, I'll do it for you. Edgeless, we're not strangers. Can you tell me how you plan to deal with this? Song Ning looked at Edgeless and asked. Edgeless sighed. I'm a little lost. I really want to kill all those who hurt my father. But after all, they are related to me by blood. I don't have any feelings for them. They didn't treat me as a family member. The cold poison in my body proves everything. My father and I suffered a lot of humiliation in the Ninein clan. My father suffered too much for me. Edgeless, let go. We won't think about the past anymore. If anyone hurts you again, we'll kill them back, Song Ning said. All right. Actually, I've been hiding all these years because the Ninein clan won't let me go. They tried to kill me and my father back then, Edgeless said in a low voice. They dare to kill us? Song Ning was a little angry. Song Ning, you don't understand the Ninein clan. It's a clan with an emperor and it's very powerful. During those years I wandered around and hid my news. Then I went to the Misty Dynasty and settled down, Edgeless said. Today you'll put an end to the dispute with the Ninein clan. Your bloodline and hatred will be written off. If they come to hurt you again, they'll be your enemies. If they don't come to find you, they'll be strangers, Song Ning said. I'll do as you say. But I must go to the drowning pool. That's the Ninein clan's territory. Conflict is inevitable, Edgeless said. The drowning pool where Uncle was beaten? Song Ning asked. Yes, so I must go. I didn't go all these years because I wasn't strong enough. My father was beaten into the drowning pool to protect me, so I must cherish my life. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to disappoint my father. Edgeless was a little sad because he had suffered too much when he was young. Don't worry. When the time comes, we'll find a few friends to help us. If they dare to stop us, we'll fight. If not, I'll ask the Battle Emperor to step in, Song Ning said. All right. I've endured all these years. A little more time won't make a difference. Edgeless nodded. I'm looking forward to Night Sorrow entering the Emperor realm. Then the cold poison in your body won't be a problem, Song Ning said. Chapter 1651. Don't worry, Night Sorrow isn't stupid. Even if he is, he still has Luo and Sister Xianer by his side, Song Ning said. I'm not worried then, Wu Feng nodded. He didn't have many friends in his life, only Song Ning and Night Sorrow. Song Ning was always by his side, so he was especially worried about Night Sorrow. After hearing Song Ning's words, he felt more at ease because he knew that Lin Xian'er was an expert, at least not weaker than him. Currently, Night Sorrow has a lot of problems. In fact, he only needs an opportunity to solve these problems. As long as Night Sorrow enters the Imperial Realm, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai will no longer be a threat. So what about Yuan Ji? He's a piece of trash with a high cultivation base but low battle strength. All his time is spent on running away. Song Ning scolded. She felt very aggrieved when she fought with Yuan Ji. Yuan Ji couldn't even withstand a single attack from her and kept running away. She couldn't do anything about it. Yes, as long as Night Sorrow enters the Imperial Realm, Gong Yufan and the others won't be a threat to him. In the Ethereal Empire, as long as he doesn't offend the Ethereal Battle Emperor, he will be able to gain a foothold and slowly develop. Wu Feng nodded. He's now a guest of the Blood Battle Arena. If he enters the Imperial Realm, he won't have his current status and status. Of course, these may not be important, Song Ning said. When she said this, she felt that Night Sorrow's combat strength would be tyrannical after entering the Imperial Realm. She could recommend him to a high position in the City Lord Mansion. But then she felt that there was no need for this. With the relationship between Night Sorrow and Lin Xian'er, even if Night Sorrow had nothing to do with the Ethereal Empire, Lin Xian'er wouldn't sit idly by if anyone dared to touch Night Sorrow. I think it's strange. I've lived in the Ethereal Empire for a long time and haven't been involved in any trouble. But how long has Night Sorrow been here? Trouble after trouble has come to him and he's almost become the focus of the Ethereal Empire, Wu Feng said with some emotion. Only when you are the center of attention will you gain popularity. When you have a firm foothold you will gain fame. With fame you will gain luck. This path is extreme. You will either fall or rise quickly, Song Ning said. Night Sorrow, Datura and Lin Xian'er continued to venture deeper into the evil Punisher grounds. Night Sorrow would kill any evil spirits they encountered. I've already collected a lot of life flames. You're here to rob us. Lin Xian'er lamented as she watched Night Sorrow continuously collect the flames of life. Night Sorrow was like a killing machine. He killed his enemies quickly in single combat and it was the same in group battles as well. He did not lack speed, strength or secret techniques. Lin Xian'er could not see any weakness in Night Sorrow. Lin Xian'er could also see the strength of Night Sorrow's soul strength. It was incomparably vigorous, and this could be determined from the might of Night Sorrow's soul destruction / Sister Xian'er, what's the value of the flames of life? Datura asked. It's extremely valuable. An ordinary king-level flame of life is worth tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones, and a high-level one is worth tens of thousands of Saint Spirit stones. The flames of life of Heavenly Monarch level and Emperor level flame of life cannot be measured by Saint Spirit stones. They are almost always bartered and many people use them for themselves. The strength of the soul strength represents the depth of one's foundation. Don't sell or trade them. These things are extremely hard to come by. After all, the evil Punisher grounds only opens once every 10 million years, Lin Xian'er said. Aluo, I've tested it. The soul strength of a Heavenly Monarch level flame of life is equivalent to a drop of soul cultivation fluid. It's useless to us but the people of the chaotic realm need it. When the time comes, store some in the domain chief's manor and let them distribute it as they see fit. Night Sorrow said. This thing is so strong. Datura hadn't studied it yet, and was shocked to hear Night Sorrow's words. In the chaotic realm, soul cultivation fluid was extremely rare, and there weren't many ways to strengthen the soul strength. However, there are also drawbacks. It's not possible to refine it beyond one's level. It's easy to be eroded by the evil aura. If one's soul is eroded, then it's completely depraved. Night Sorrow said. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow collected the flames of life of all levels. There were still some people around him whose cultivation was lower, and they also needed saint-level flames of life. After listening to the conversation between Night Sorrow and Datura, Lin Xian'er was a little emotional. Night Sorrow had selfless dedication, and it was hard for the chaotic realm not to be strong. She could foresee that after a period of time, the celestial realm would have a new force led by Night Sorrow. Sister Xian'er, what are you thinking? We can't rush the matter with ghost wings. We should try not to delay on the way and head to the Yellow Springs River as soon as possible. If you still feel it when we reach the Yellow Springs River, then we'll continue to look for the next location, Night Sorrow said. I'm not in a hurry, I'm just a little emotional. Why did the Ethereal Empire set a requirement of 30 flames of life for everyone below the Emperor realm? It's because of the balance so that those who enter will have opportunities and can contribute to the Ethereal Empire. Setting the requirement of 30 flames of life was based on the estimation that there wouldn't be much left after the cultivators who entered handed in 30 flames of life. This way the balance wouldn't be broken. If everyone was like you, the evil Punisher land would be wiped out in a few times, Lin Shenner said with a smile. Those below the Emperor realm had to hand in 30 flames of life. This was set by Lin Shenner after watching the battles of the cultivators in the evil Punisher land. The 3 flames of life for the Emperor realm were symbolic, because without her approval, Emperor realm cultivators wouldn't be able to enter the evil Punisher land. That's true. Killing like us will break the balance, but we're here for opportunities. If we don't kill, how can we get resources? This is a little conflicting, Night Sorrow said. It's nothing. There's a reason for their existence. The more you kill, the weaker the origin energy of the evil Punisher land will be, and the greater the merit for the celestial realm. You'll feel it when you get out. You'll gain a lot from this trip, Lin Shenner said. As the controller of the evil Punisher land, Lin Shenner naturally knew how much luck one would gain from killing evil spirits. The reason why she could cultivate smoothly and the ethereal empire could develop smoothly was because of the suppression of the evil Punisher land. Night Sorrow was a body of merit, and the conversion of luck in merit gave him a large amount of merit power. Especially since Night Sorrow was so good at killing, it was equivalent to severely damaging the foundation of the evil spirits. There's a reason for their existence. Aluo, you start killing too. Since we're here, let's maximize the benefits, Night Sorrow decided. On the way forward, Night Sorrow and Datura started killing, and Lin Shenner was itching to join in as well. The 3 of them had tyrannical combat power, and they pushed their way forward, heading towards the Yellow Springs River. At this time, Night Sorrow's original body had arrived at the territory of a force called the Heaven's Vault Tribe. The Heaven's Vault Tribe was also a top force, and it was hundreds of millions of miles away from the ethereal empire. Night Sorrow had used the transmission array to teleport countless times. Chapter 1652. The Heaven's Vault Tribe was the oldest and most mysterious force in the celestial realm. The strongest person in the Heaven's Vault Tribe was the High Priest, who had mastered the most elusive fate technique. Night Sorrow wasn't a newcomer in the celestial realm who didn't know anything. Before coming to the Heaven's Vault Tribe, he had already looked for the handbook. He had studied the Heaven's Vault Tribe. The fate technique was a special energy formed by the fusion of life energy and faith energy. It was unfathomable, just like Guizu's ghost energy. They were both extreme energies. The Heaven's Vault Tribe High Priest was also an expert on the celestial demon list, but there weren't many records about him. He was one of the more mysterious ones. Not only was the Heaven's Vault Tribe High Priest mysterious, but so was the Heaven's Vault Tribe. No outsiders were allowed to enter the core area. Anyone who entered would be killed mercilessly, even if you were an Emperor Realm cultivator. Fortunately, the Heaven's Vault Cliff wasn't in the core area of the Heaven's Vault Tribe. It wasn't that the Heaven's Vault Cliff wasn't in the core area of the Heaven's Vault Tribe. It was just that the Heaven's Vault Tribe had given up this area. The formation of the Sky Vault Cliff was rather complex. A portion of the Sky Vault Mountain was being guided by the earthly malevolent energy and kept rising. After reaching a certain height, the earthly malevolent energy directly broke through the mountain and broke through space. The Sky Vault Cliff pierced into the void. This caused various types of spatial energy to spray out from the void crack, forming a special place. The environment was very harsh. Ordinary cultivators couldn't go forward. If they went forward, they would be torn apart by the violent energy. However, if they stayed away, it would be of great help to the cultivation and comprehension of the will. Because many people came here to cultivate, it was messy. The Heaven's Vault Tribe didn't want to get involved in the disputes and thus gave up this area. When Night Sorrow arrived, he saw cultivators sitting on the ground thousands of miles away from the Heaven's Vault Cliff. Some of them were Saint Kings, some were Half-Step King, but most of them were kings, sovereigns, and even lords of heaven. Saint Kings, kings, and sovereigns came here to comprehend the elemental will. Lords of heaven sought to master the general trend of heaven and earth and work hard to enter the Emperor realm. With the reincarnation spear on his back and dressed in white robes, Yishan continued to advance towards Heavenly Vault Cliff. He took a simple step forward, but his figure was already 50 kilometers away. This was the Void Steps, an ultimate movement technique that he had learned from his opponent's movement technique in the blood battle arena. Many cultivators who were meditating opened their eyes. They looked at Yishang's back and pondered. They all knew that another expert had come to Heaven's Vault Cliff. Because they were not strong enough, they could not advance. Every 1,000 miles there would be a different intent pressure. Saint Kings and half-step monarchs could only be 10,000 li away from heaven's vault cliff, while a one-star monarch could be 9,000 li away. Every time he advanced 1,000 miles, the pressure on his willpower would increase by a bit. Night Sorrow walked leisurely and didn't feel anything. Apart from the fact that his void attribute was already at the half-step emperor realm, his spacetime attribute was also at 99%. He just needed an opportunity to become a lord of spacetime. Moreover, it wasn't as simple as that. Night Sorrow felt that as long as his elemental will was perfected and the 7th bloodline energy point was activated, he would be able to control the general trend of heaven and earth. Night Sorrow's spacetime attribute was formed by the fusion of time attribute and space attribute. Now that the space attribute was advancing rapidly, the time attribute was improving as well. The two were already indistinguishable. Night Sorrow passed by. Pairs of eyes opened from meditation. They were all surprised because Night Sorrow didn't feel any pressure when he passed by. When he was 1,000 miles away from the Heaven's Vault cliff, Night Sorrow stopped and looked around. He found that there were sovereigns and lords of heaven in the vicinity. They meditated at different positions. Those who grasped 91% of the will would be 900 miles away from the Heaven's Vault cliff. Those who grasped 92% of the will would be able to advance another 100 miles. Only peak stage sovereigns and lords of heaven could get close to the Heaven's Vault cliff. However, they couldn't stay here forever. Under the high pressure of the Heaven's Vault cliff, they would consume a lot of energy. Once they consumed a lot of energy, they would have to retreat and recover before they could enter again. After observing Night Sorrow for a while, Night Sorrow walked towards the Heaven's Vault cliff. Night Sorrow walked very easily because his will of spacetime was very mature. Ordinary lords of heaven's will of spacetime were not comparable to him. At this moment, Night Sorrow was using the spacetime attribute energy to protect his body. The void energy was hidden in his body. He had the true body and no one could see it. In a short moment, Night Sorrow arrived at the bottom of the Heaven's Vault cliff. He sensed it for a moment and sat down cross-legged. Datura was still cultivating in the clear sky pagoda. Night Sorrow didn't ask her to come out. Datura didn't need to comprehend anything now. After refining the life force origin left behind by Datura Chinensis, she would naturally comprehend some things. For Datura, entering the Arch realm required time. Time to refine Datura Chinensis's life force origin. In addition, Night Sorrow also realized that he was still communicating with the clear sky pagoda. However, he couldn't enter or leave as the Heaven's Tao laws had a layer of blockade. Night Sorrow sat cross-legged and sensed the energy, willpower, and the power of heaven and earth that was floating down from the Heaven's Vault cliff. He was using it as reference to perfect himself. A batch of cultivators came and went. However, Night Sorrow didn't move. He had the true body and his energy consumption was minimal. He could bear it and concentrate on sensing the feelings that the Heaven's Vault cliff brought. Many people came and went several times. They left after exhausting themselves and came again after recovering. However, Night Sorrow didn't move at all. It was very shocking. In the Heaven's Vault tribe's sacrificial hall, a few people stood. A man in black bowed and reported about Night Sorrow's situation. Peak monarch with spacetime willpower is just a facade. Don't bother about him. Don't make things difficult for him. Don't rope him in. Let nature take its course. An old voice sounded. The man in black bowed and left. The Heaven's Vault tribe also had a motive for opening up the Heaven's Vault cliff. It was to find talents and nurture them. The core area of the Heaven's Vault tribe didn't accept outsiders, but they still had peripheral forces. The development of the peripheral forces was to unearth talents in the Heaven's Vault cliff. P. Most T. New Chapter NZ, Supra 1N. After the man in black left, an old man in sackcloth appeared. He was shrouded in white light and looked very sacred. Everyone in the hall bowed and greeted him. Commander, you arrange for people to pay attention to him. Don't let our people provoke him. Don't have any conflicts. He left after he finished cultivating. We'll treat it as if he never came. The old man, who was the high priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe, said, I'll arrange it right away. But I don't understand. He's just a monarch who hasn't fully comprehended willpower. What will happen? Commander Yu, who was wearing animal skin and had a valiant aura, asked. I had a feeling when he came here. I went to take a look and used the destiny technique to deduce. I found that he's the Merit Grand Sage. His other attributes are already at the pseudo-emperor level. Moreover, he's inextricably linked to Lin Piaomiao. He's the center of right and wrong. The high priest said, Are you sure he's a talent? Is he not worth roping in? Another old woman asked. Chapter 1653. Night Sorrow cultivated quietly. No one disturbed him and he didn't go out either. When his spacetime energy was exhausted, he would switch to the void chi in his body to resist the pressure, and then recover his spacetime energy. When his spacetime energy was recovered, he would use it to resist the pressure, and then use the void chi to recover. The cycle repeated. Night Sorrow's spacetime intent had reached a bottleneck. If he didn't break through the bottleneck, he wouldn't be able to improve. However, his void domain and destruction intent were constantly improving. While the main body was cultivating, Night Sorrow's doppelganger continued to fight in the evil Punisher land. He didn't use his void domain, and only used his battle intent to protect his body. Even if he encountered an Emperor Realm evil spirit, it was the same. On this day, Night Sorrow and the other two encountered a group of evil spirits. The three of them started fighting, but just as the battle started, Lin Xin pulled Datura back. Her body flickered twice and she appeared on a big tree. Then she used her domain to envelop Datura and herself, and restrained her aura. Sister Xian, what are you doing? Datura didn't understand. Why did Lin Xin leave Night Sorrow behind? Night Sorrow's battle intent is transforming. We don't have enough opponents now. Let's not talk about the two of us continuing to fight. We have to think of a way to lure the evil spirits for him to kill, so that his battle intent can complete the transformation in one go and avoid detours, Lin Xianer said. Hearing Lin Xianer's words, Datura looked up and found that it was indeed so. Night Sorrow's battle was very sharp, and his body was filled with a destructive aura. That's right, it was a destructive aura. Don't be in a daze, get to work. You lure the evil spirits closer and I'll lure some further away. Then bring them here. This is a message crystal, crush it if there's danger. Lin Xianer tossed a message crystal to Datura, then left in a flash. She knew that Night Sorrow's current state was very subtle. If he rushed over, it would be of great help to him in the future. If he stopped, it would be more difficult for him to enter this state again. After leaving Datura's area of detection, Lin Xin displayed her Emperor rank ability. Her body flashed and traveled 1,000 miles. When she saw evil spirits, she immediately used her domain to wrap around them. If there were any Emperor rank evil spirits that were difficult to deal with, she would immediately kill them with a wave of her hand. After obtaining a batch, Lin Xin went to Night Sorrow's area and had Datura lure them over while Lin Xin went to look for the next batch. At this time, Night Sorrow was fighting unconsciously. When his original body was comprehending Sky Cliff's will of destruction, he was stimulated by his doppelganger's desire to kill all opponents and had an epiphany. The fighting spirit was advancing toward the destructive fighting spirit. This was the combination of the fighting spirit and the destructive fighting spirit in advance. If it was completed, there would be no bottleneck for him to enter the destructive pseudo-emperor rank in the future. After capturing 4 batches, Lin Xianer stopped. She observed that Night Sorrow's destructive fighting spirit had completely taken shape. Although he had not woken up, there was already a result of this epiphany. Aluo, you don't need to lure them. Night Sorrow's fighting spirit has completed its transformation. The destructive fighting spirit has already taken shape. He has improved as he fights. I have to say that he is very powerful. Could this be a legendary genius? Lin Xianer sighed. She naturally knew what this improvement meant to Night Sorrow. It was a huge improvement in the destruction attribute, a transformation. I'm exhausted. Datura exhaled. Lin Xianer also smiled. In these 4 hours she had run close to 1,000,000 miles. Otherwise, how could there be so many evil spirits for Night Sorrow to kill? Now, Night Sorrow's body was surrounded by floating flames of life. The flames of life were very condensed and would not disperse in a short period of time. After killing all the evil spirits, Night Sorrow sat cross-legged. He had consumed a lot of energy during this period of time. It was also Lin Xianer who helped him get rid of the high-level evil spirits, allowing him to kill to the end in one spurt of energy. After recovering for 4 hours, Night Sorrow stood up and said, "Thank you, Sister Xianer. Thank you, Aluo." After the epiphany ended and waking up, Night Sorrow naturally understood what had happened. You have laid the foundation for the destruction domain. However, this is only your doppelganger. Did your original body cause this sudden epiphany? Lin Xianer asked. Yes, after my cultivation reached a bottleneck, my original body went out to train. Now that I'm cultivating, the doppelganger's fighting spirit triggered my original body's epiphany. Night Sorrow nodded. The celestial realm is very dangerous. Don't run around like this. You will become a target wherever you go. Lin Xian'er reminded Night Sorrow. Mandela also handed over the flames of life that she had collected to Yi Shang. Fortunately, the three of them all had spirit array bottles that Yi Shang had refined to store the flames of life. Otherwise, they would have wasted some of the flames of life. Even if Lin Xian'er refined them on the spot, she wouldn't make it in time. So many? Looking at the bottles in front of him, Night Sorrow asked in surprise. You don't know how many evil spirits you killed in the 4 hours you crazily killed? There were close to 1,000 evil spirits of different cultivation levels. Sister Xian'er and I helped you lure them. We almost broke our legs running. Datura said with a smile. She was very happy that Night Sorrow had improved. Fortunately, we have been moving in the direction that Aluo sensed and are relatively close to the Yellow Springs River. Otherwise, where would we find so many evil spirits for you to kill? If there are not enough evil spirits, it will be difficult for your fighting spirit to complete the transformation. Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow was also very happy. Improving his cultivation level was his pursuit. After finding a campsite, Night Sorrow took out a few jars of wine. Datura ran tens of thousands of miles to catch a wild beast and roasted it. The three of them drank wine, ate barbecued meat, and chatted. Night Sorrow was a little emotional and nostalgic. Once upon a time he and his brothers were also like this. When he was a Qi refinement cultivator, 11th senior brother Mo Chen accompanied him. Later on, the brothers of the god-slaying team accompanied him. Now, eating barbecued meat and drinking wine, he was a little nostalgic about the past. Night Sorrow, what's wrong? Datura asked. Yi Shang spoke of his inner feelings. When our foundation is stable, we will bring them here. Datura said. The celestial realm is so deep. Who dares to say that their foundation is stable? Perhaps the ethereal battle emperor dares to say so. Night Sorrow shook his head. When you enter the emperor realm, you can tell the ethereal battle emperor that you want to open a mansion and help the ethereal dynasty rule a land. Then, your brothers and sisters can enter the celestial realm and have a stable place. When they enter the celestial realm, their development speed will increase. Lin Xian'er thought for a while and said, Sister Xian'er, I am used to being free. If I join the ethereal dynasty, I will serve the ethereal dynasty. If the ethereal dynasty gives an order that goes against my principles, will I follow it or not? If I don't do it, then what is it? If I join and don't follow their orders, I will go back on my words and go against my words. If I follow their orders, then I will go against my original intentions. Night Sorrow smiled and shook his head. You have strong principles. If the ethereal dynasty can give you a region and let you develop freely, that will be good. Lin Xian'er thought for a while and said, That will be difficult. Why should they take care of us? No one owes anyone anything in this world. I will work hard to obtain it. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1654. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, Lin Xian'er had a rough idea. Night Sorrow was a virtuous person and had pride in his bones. His soul was noble, so he wouldn't bow down to others and wouldn't do things like seek personal gain. To put it bluntly, Night Sorrow would be the core no matter where he stood. With this analysis, Lin Xian'er felt that if there was a suitable opportunity, she would help to arrange it. Apart from their personal relationship, this wouldn't do any harm to the ethereal dynasty. Night Sorrow had his own principles. If the ethereal dynasty needed something, Night Sorrow wouldn't shirk from it even if there was no order. After drinking, the three of them continued on their journey. Because they knew each other better, they had a lot to talk about and chatted happily. By the way, Night Sorrow, you haven't told me where your real body went to cultivate. Lin Xian'er thought of a question. I'm cultivating at the Heavens Cliff of the Heavens Territory, Night Sorrow said. He didn't hide anything from Lin Xian'er. You're a little reckless. The Heavens Territory is very complicated. Maybe it's nothing now, but when you want to leave there might be trouble. Lin Xian'er thought for a moment and said. She knew about the various forces in the celestial realm, and she also knew about some of the tricks of the Heavens Territory. Sister Xian'er, what are the hidden dangers? Datura asked. The Heavens Cliff is open to attract some cultivators. Those with good aptitudes can't escape their eyes. They will find ways to recruit them and develop them as peripheral forces. They will earn resources for the core of the Heavens Territory, gather information, and so on. In other words, they are a group of people who serve the core of the Heavens Territory. If they don't accept them, there won't be any good results, Lin Xian'er said. It's that complicated? Then we'll just sneak away when we're almost done cultivating, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. It's not suitable. The high priest of the heavens territory is very strong. His secret technique is the art of destiny. It's very profound. Whatever you think of, he will calculate in advance. Stay there and cultivate. When you're about to leave, inform me. I'll find someone to pick you up. I don't think the heavens territory will stop you, Lin Xianer said. Sister Xianer, High Priest Tian Qiong is an expert. Will he give us face? Datura asked. I don't have many friends, but one of them is quite powerful. Even the High Priest will give him face. Night Sorrow, remember to inform me before you return. You can't be careless, Lin Xianer said as she looked at Night Sorrow. I don't mind owing Sister Xianer a favor, but I don't want Sister Xianer to owe others a favor, Night Sorrow said. It's nothing. This person owes me a favor. Don't think too much about it. Let's head towards the Yellow Springs River. I have a feeling that something is going to happen. Lin Xianer changed the topic. Night Sorrow had gone to the Heavens Vault tribe's territory. She was worried that there would be trouble, so she decided that when Night Sorrow was about to leave, her original body would go and pick him up. Something is going to happen. We will find ghost wings. Sister Xianer's fortune is here. Let's charge, Night Sorrow shouted. Lin Xianer smiled. She had been too quiet these past few years. She had forgotten what passion and hot-bloodedness were like. Now she felt it again because Night Sorrow had an exciting energy. Being close to Night Sorrow, she was unknowingly filled with vitality. As the three of them advanced, Night Sorrow was the saber. If there was a battle, Night Sorrow would attack. Lin Xianer and Datura would watch the battle and give a few comments from time to time. Half a month later, the three of them reached the Yellow Springs River. There were more evil spirits by the Yellow Springs River. However, some of them were in the process of evolving and would not take the initiative to attack. After evolving, they would choose to leave and not fight by the Yellow Springs River. Night Sorrow and the other two also followed this rule and did not fight by the Yellow Springs River. Chapter Z2, New Chapters A2. Night Sorrow and the other two could not slaughter the evil spirits that did not fight back. The three of them walked along the Yellow Springs River. When they had comprehended something, they would sit down and cultivate. As for the flames of life, the three of them had obtained enough and did not need to deliberately obtain more. The last time, Night Sorrow had comprehended something by the Yellow Springs River and advanced to the Void Lord realm. Walking by the Yellow Springs River still gave him some feelings and made the structure of his void domain more solid. Datura was the same. Sometimes she would fall into deep thought. The laws and willpower contained in each section of the Yellow Springs River were completely different. It was different from the dark abyss that she was in. Therefore, she would sometimes comprehend something. However, the array disc in Lin Xianer's hand still did not have any feelings. The three of them just walked along naturally. However, something happened that day which surprised Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow and the other two saw a special evil spirit. Its skeleton was pale gold and its eyes were also golden flames of life. Originally, it had evolved underground by the Yellow Springs River. Night Sorrow and the other two did not deliberately investigate, so they did not realize that it had appeared of its own accord. After this evil spirit appeared, it directly went in front of Night Sorrow. The flames of life in its eyes were burning, but there was no battle intent or hostility. What's going on? Datura grabbed the hollow knife and was about to attack. Don't. Lin Xianer grabbed Datura's hand. Night Sorrow and this evil spirit looked at each other. Neither of them had any intention of attacking. Night Sorrow moved to the side, and the golden evil spirit followed suit. Sister Xianer, what's going on? An emperor-level evil spirit? Datura asked. It's not an evil spirit. It's a holy spirit. Lin Xianer's eyes were very serious. At this time Night Sorrow said, I won't attack. You can go. After speaking, Night Sorrow walked towards Lin Xianer and Datura. He felt that it was very strange. According to Lin Xianer, this golden evil spirit was called a holy spirit. It had no hostility towards him. Night Sorrow walked and this holy spirit followed. Night Sorrow, it wants to follow you. You can take it with you. Lin Xianer said. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. Sister Xianer, it has the power of merit. Yes, this skeleton was a body of merit when it was alive, and it was very mature. It might be a merit saint. After this person died, this skeleton was washed and purified by the Yellow Springs River. The power of merit was even purer than the glazed bone. According to my estimation, heavenly monarchs and pseudo-emperors can't destroy its skeleton, Lin Xian'er said. But this is just the condition of the body. At present, this skeleton is dominated by a soul. We don't know the condition of this soul, Night Sorrow said. If the soul is not pure enough, can it survive in this merit-glazed body? It will be annihilated by the power of merit in an instant. Not to mention whether this soul had the power of merit when it was alive, it was at least a very pure soul. Therefore, the combination of the two formed this golden body Holy Spirit. Lin Xian'er looked at the golden body Holy Spirit and said, I see. I understand, but how to arrange this is still a problem. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead. Chapter 1655. HQ Head, then bring him out. This guy looks very energetic. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you can understand, then follow me. Night Sorrow looked at the golden Holy Spirit and asked. The golden Holy Spirit nodded and took a step closer to Night Sorrow. This guy will have to fight in the future, but he doesn't have a weapon. It looks like I have to think of a way. Night Sorrow looked at the golden body Holy Spirit and muttered. Just as Yi Shang's voice faded, the golden body Holy Spirit's right hand changed into a golden axe. Then it swung the axe towards Yi Shang's side, creating a deep trench in the ground. Night Sorrow jumped in fright. It was too ferocious. If he was accidentally injured, he would be sliced in half. His aura isn't stable yet. If it's stable, he'll be a Saint Spirit Emperor. What the hell is this? Lin Xian'er was speechless. At first, she thought that the Holy Spirit was a half-step great emperor, but when the golden body Holy Spirit attacked, she realized that her judgment was not accurate. The golden body Holy Spirit was in the great emperor realm, but its evolution was not complete, and the aura it revealed was not stable. Brother, they're all friends. Don't cut them. Night Sorrow said to the golden Holy Spirit. The golden Holy Spirit twisted its neck and made a cracking sound. Then it nodded. That's unbelievable. How could something like this happen? How did Night Sorrow manage to get a great emperor as a follower? Mandela said in surprise. This is the tyranny of the deluxe merit Grand Sage. I have no choice but to concede. However, this golden body Holy Spirit is too conspicuous, even the emperors would try to snatch it away. Night Sorrow, let's stop for 2 days. I'll get him a set of armor to hide his aura, Lin Xian'er said. Thank you for your hard work, Sister Xian'er. What materials do you need? Night Sorrow asked. There's no need for that. For the next 2 days, all of you should cultivate in the vicinity. I'll solve this problem very soon. After saying that, Lin Xian'er disappeared in a flash, and an exquisite glazed pagoda appeared in her place. Night Sorrow and the golden body Holy Spirit communicated. At first, Night Sorrow needed to speak, but later the man and the skeleton used their soul power to communicate. Night Sorrow could send his thoughts to the golden body Holy Spirit, and the golden body Holy Spirit would send its soul power to Night Sorrow's divine sea. Night Sorrow tried to let the golden Holy Spirit display its strength, but the result shocked Night Sorrow and Dachira. The golden Holy Spirit's broad axe flew everywhere, and the sky was filled with golden aura chi. There were no battle techniques or secret techniques. It was just a simple and fast attack. However, it was very violent and full of righteousness. This guy is very strong. I can't withstand the strength of his attacks, Dachira said. The skeleton itself is very domineering, and the soul it fused with is an emperor-level pure soul. It's just that the fusion evolution is not complete. According to Sister Xian'er, once the fusion is complete, the golden body Holy Spirit will be an emperor-level golden body Holy Spirit. With its speed, attack power, and shameless golden body defense, even emperor-level cultivators will have a headache when facing it. Night Sorrow looked at the golden body Holy Spirit again. 2 days later, Lin Xian'er came out of the time acceleration treasure. Come, Night Sorrow, put it on for him. Lin Xian'er took out a set of full body armor. It was a black armor. Night Sorrow communicated with the golden body Holy Spirit with his soul power, and then threw the armor to the golden body Holy Spirit. The golden body Holy Spirit grabbed the armor with its left hand, and a part of the golden flames in its eyes flowed into the black armor, and the golden body Holy Spirit recognized the black armor as its master. When an evil spirit was killed, what was left was the flame of life, and what was left was the flame of soul. After being recognized by the golden body Holy Spirit's flame of soul, golden threads appeared on the black armor. Then the golden body Holy Spirit threw the armor away, and the armor disintegrated, and then buckled it on its body piece by piece. The black armor covered the entire body of the golden-bodied Holy Spirit. The lower part of the armor covered the legs of the golden-bodied Holy Spirit, and its head was also covered by the black armor. There was also a piece of armor with golden threads flowing on it, which made it look very domineering. It's too conspicuous. There's also this. Datura took out a black cloak. Night Sorrow took the cloak and put it on the golden body Holy Spirit, covering its head, and then tied the belt around its neck. It's very stylish. Datura said. It's not just stylish. The cloak is made of black iron silk, and it's impervious to force. It can block sword chi, and the armor's defensive power is not a problem. Now no one will notice anything. Lin Xian'er said. The golden body Holy Spirit has become a living dark night reaper. Thank you, Sister Xian'er. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then let's go. We'll see its combat power later and see if it can adapt to this armor. Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow and the other two took the golden body Holy Spirit, and left the Yellow Spring River for some distance, to the area where the evil spirits would take the initiative to fight. At this moment, the golden body Holy Spirit attacked. The golden body Holy Spirit, who was wearing a cloak, moved extremely fast. As he waved the broad axe in his right hand, the golden body Holy Spirit, which was covered in black light, was very sharp. The golden body Holy Spirit was chopped into pieces. Before Night Sorrow could collect the remaining flame of life, it was absorbed by the golden body Holy Spirit's flame of soul and refined. Absorbing the flame of life to evolve? Night Sorrow was very shocked. Lin Xian'er nodded. This is a heaven-defying thing. Bringing it with you is equivalent to having an additional assistant by your side. Night Sorrow let the golden body Holy Spirit fight at the periphery of the Yellow Spring River, and the three of them once again arrived at the Yellow Spring River and moved forward. The situation changed to Night Sorrow and the other two moving forward by the Yellow Spring River, and the golden body Holy Spirit was 10,000 miles away from the three of them, forming a parallel line and followed the three of them forward. Night Sorrow, this time we killed Clear Sun and the others and it caused a big incident. The Clear Flower dynasty lost a precious treasure, and they were afraid that this matter would be exposed and cause the Ethereal dynasty to take revenge, so they joined forces with the Celestial sect. Lin Xian'er said. The Celestial sect is very strong. I read the ancient records and it said that they have a Celestial Emperor. Night Sorrow said. Yes, but the strongest in the Celestial sect are the two peak monarchs. The Celestial Emperor hasn't shown himself for a long time, and it can even be said that he isn't in the Celestial sect. Currently, the Celestial sect is in charge of the Celestial sect, and the Celestial Emperor's whereabouts are unknown. Even if the Celestial sect and the Ethereal dynasty had a conflict, he didn't show himself. Therefore, the Celestial sect's position is now a first-rate force, not a top-tier force. Of course, ordinary cultivators wouldn't know about this. The divine ranking of the Ethereal dynasty has changed a lot. Night Sorrow said with a wry smile. Don't worry, I'm here with a clone. My original body has communicated with the Ethereal War Emperor, and this matter was caused by the Clear Flower dynasty. If they don't give an explanation, we'll start a war. Lin Xian'er thought for a moment and said, That's fine. Aluo, if there's a war, we'll go to war. After all, this matter started because of us and we can't run away from what we should face. Night Sorrow said. Okay, we don't lack people. Datura nodded. Chapter 1656. Sister Xian'er, does that mean something might have happened to the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor? Night Sorrow asked. No, that guy is hiding from someone. In the celestial realm, there's a crazy guy known as the Great Demon King. Every once in a while he would come out to challenge someone. Guizhou was an example, and the next one might be the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor. He admitted that he couldn't handle the Great Demon King, so the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor might have gone into hiding, Lin Xian'er said with a smile. Is this Great Demon King a scammer? Datura asked. Not really. He called himself the Punishment Demon King, which means that if he doesn't like someone or someone with bad morals, he would find fault and punish them. The Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor's reputation isn't very good, especially the titled Saint Emperor, which caused the Great Demon King to be unhappy. Anyway, the two of them don't get along and the Heaven's Limit Saint Emperor doesn't have enough confidence, which is the current situation, Lin Xian'er said with a smile. In other words, one is a show-off and the other is a cowardly turtle, right? Datura said. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless fantasy translation. Hee hee, you're right. That's actually the case. Lin Xian'er laughed. Lin Xian'er was convulsing with laughter because no one in the heaven realm had ever given her such an evaluation, but Mandela's evaluation was indeed very apartment. The three of them continued to move forward, and the golden body Holy Spirit maintained a parallel line with them. The golden body Holy Spirit's strength is rapidly increasing, Night Sorrow said. It used to be a stable evolution, but the process was slower. After waking up, it changed its method. You should know what's going on with it, right? Lin Xian'er looked at Night Sorrow and asked. It's already clear. The original soul of the virtuous body skeleton has been completely annihilated, and a relatively pure emperor-level soul entered the skeleton. The soul itself was pure, and after being purified by the Yellow Springs River, it was attracted by the virtuous golden body, and the two combined to form the current golden body Holy Spirit. Because it was purified by the Yellow Springs River, the soul is in an ignorant state. Now it trusts me more, so it's following me. Night Sorrow nodded and explained the situation. Then there won't be any hidden dangers. You can rest assured and keep it by your side. Lin Xian'er was originally a little worried, but now she was relieved. After advancing for a month, Night Sorrow and the others didn't gain anything. However, Night Sorrow's realm had increased a little. What his doppelganger saw and heard in the Yellow Springs River had stimulated his true body. His true body had perfected his nihility domain, which had reached 40% completion. On the other hand, the golden body Holy Spirit's cultivation base was increasing rapidly. His aura had completely stabilized at the Emperor realm. Elder Sister Xian'er Guizu's ghost wings are hidden very deeply. Dachura said after not seeing any movement from his ghost wings. It's hard to say whether or not there will be one. You can't rush it and you can't force it either. Let nature take its course. Lin Xian'er was very calm, mainly because she had experienced many things and was able to see things very indifferently. This section of the Yellow Springs River is very long. If the formation plate still doesn't react when we reach the source of the Yellow Springs River and the Yellow Springs River, we'll just fly downstream and search for it, Night Sorrow said. You two don't need to worry about me. It's really nothing. If it's fated, it will be there. If it's not fated, don't force it, Lin Xian'er said. Because they had already collected a large amount of flames of life, Night Sorrow and the others didn't care about collecting more flames of life, so they just walked along the Yellow Springs River. After a while, Night Sorrow and the others arrived at the source of the Yellow Springs River, which was where they had come from through the void. The Yellow Springs River passed through many spatial worlds, but some only passed through small corners. In spatial worlds, it was only a few hundred kilometers or even 1,000 kilometers, but in the evil execution land it was much longer. Night Sorrow and the others had advanced very quickly, taking more than a month, which meant that they had traveled at least tens of millions of kilometers. That bastard Guizu, I don't know where he hid the ghost wings, Dachura cursed. Then we'll fly downstream and search for it. If we can't find it, we'll have to go back. We can't delay our return. Sister Xian'er, if we can't find it this time, we'll accompany you next time, Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. Okay, we'll follow your arrangements. Lin Xian'er nodded. She wasn't in a hurry. In fact, she was just accompanying Night Sorrow and Dachura. Once this evil execution trip is over, she can still come back, Lin Xian'er said. Because there wasn't much time, Night Sorrow and the others began to fly. The golden body divine spirit followed behind. Its speed was even faster than Night Sorrow and Dachura. Because of my matter, I've delayed you and the golden body divine spirit's evolution, Lin Xian'er said. Don't say that. We came in together. We're a whole. Night Sorrow shook his head. Flying separately by the Yellow River wasn't completely fruitless. Night Sorrow found a skeleton in the Yellow Spring River. It was a golden red tail bone of a demon beast. After Lin Xian'er identified it, she told Night Sorrow that it was the tip of the tail bone of the blood Kirin. Night Sorrow, Kirins are auspicious beasts and virtuous beasts. If this tail bone is made into the tip of a spear, it will be very suitable for you, Lin Xian'er said. It's a very good find. I'm puzzled that an existence like the blood Kirin could fall. Night Sorrow shook his head in confusion. Normally, entering the king realm means that one's lifespan is unlimited. However, nothing is absolute. For example, the tribulation of breaking through, whether one's Tao heart is stable enough, and so on. Not to mention the king realm, even imperial emperors and emperors have the possibility of falling. Because if you're strong, your opponents are stronger, Lin Xian'er said. Night Sorrow understands. Thank you for enlightening me, Sister Xin. Night Sorrow nodded to Lin Xin. When they reached the end of the Yellow Spring River, the three still didn't find anything. Night Sorrow went to the periphery of the Yellow Spring River and carried out a massacre, collecting more than 800 flames of life. Because they were about to leave, he collected as much as he could. Sister Xin, we made a mistake and went the wrong way, Night Sorrow said. What? Night Sorrow, what do you think? Lin Xin looked at Night Sorrow with a smile. Guizhu placed the space source. If Guiyi is in this evil Punisher land, then he should be with the world source. It's meaningless for us to follow the Yellow Spring River, Night Sorrow said. Yes, we were wrong in the beginning. This time we won't make it in time, Datura said. Don't worry. If we can't do it this time, then we'll do it next time. At worst, we'll pay the price and ask Ethereal Battle Emperor to give us a chance to enter, Lin Xin said. I'm afraid that's very difficult, right? Night Sorrow looked at Lin Xin with some surprise. Nothing is absolute. Okay, let's go out. Lin Xin shook her head. I can feel where the world source is, but we don't have enough time. I've experienced it before. The world source will hide from cultivators. It's difficult to get close to it, Night Sorrow said as he looked up into the distance. You can sense where the world source is? Lin Xin turned to Night Sorrow. Chapter 1657. Yes, I misunderstood. That's it for this time. If I come again, Night Sorrow, you have to help and come with Sister Xin, Lin Xin said. Look at the original chapter ZD under. No problem. As long as Sister Xin asks, I will definitely be there, Night Sorrow nodded. The golden body Holy Spirit needs the flames of life to advance. You kill in this area for a few more days, then we'll take your dark hand teleportation array back to the main camp. It'll only take a little more than 2 days, so it won't even take me a day, Lin Xin said to the golden body Holy Spirit behind Yishang. Alright, I will bring him to kill, Night Sorrow said and flew towards the periphery of the Yellow Springs River with the golden Holy Spirit to kill the evil spirits. Datura and Lin Xin followed behind. The two of them did not make a move. It was not that they could not kill the evil spirits now, but that there were not enough of them to kill. Aluo, Night Sorrow's opportunities and luck are really overbearing. With the golden Holy Spirit following him, he will have an Emperor Realm helper in the future, and it will not be an ordinary one. If the golden Holy Spirit evolves, no one in the Emperor Realm will be able to hurt it, Lin Xin said. After I met him and married him, I also obtained a lot of opportunities. The opportunity to enter the Emperor Realm has a lot to do with him, Datura said. Lin Xin exhaled. Previously, she had only read about it in the ancient records that people with a body of merit and good luck would be blessed with good luck. Now she had experienced it firsthand. Outside, the Radiant Dynasty had already sent a lot of compensation to the Ethereal Dynasty, asking them to quell their anger. One of the materials was very suitable for her. In addition, she felt that there was still hope to obtain the ghost wings. These were all brought after she met Night Sorrow. A few days passed, and after obtaining another 800 flames of life, Night Sorrow kept the golden body Holy Spirit that did not resist into the 8-dragon cauldron. Then, together with Lin Xin and Datura, they activated the transfer array disk and arrived at a place not far from the evil punishing gate, which was also the place where Night Sorrow had set up his trap. Night Sorrow, do you think we can set up a teleportation array in the celestial realm, connect it to this place, and then sneak in to help Sister Xin find ghost wings? Datura asked. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and said, It's possible, but it's a little immoral. This place is guarded by the Misty Dynasty, and they are benefiting the celestial realm. It's not appropriate for us to sneak in here. We can be unscrupulous when dealing with our enemies, but it's not appropriate for us to treat the Misty Dynasty who are friendly to us like this. I'd rather pay the price and ask them to give us a chance. Sister Xin, I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. I admire your character and principles. A momentary loss is nothing. Lin Xin truly admired Night Sorrow's perseverance and felt gratified in her heart, because Night Sorrow was someone who deserved to be treated sincerely and trusted unconditionally. However, I won't be inflexible. I'll set up the teleportation array. I can pay a huge price and even make a promise to the Ethereal Battle Monarch to give me a chance. If he doesn't agree, then we'll do it again without harming his interests. No one can break Sister Xin's opportunity, said Night Sorrow. Alright, I'm afraid the realm teleportation stone won't work. You'll have to change to the God's teleportation crystal. You'll have to change the array base. Lin Xianer said. Although Night Sorrow had changed his attitude, Lin Xianer felt that Night Sorrow's decision was very reasonable and had principles. It was as flexible as Night Sorrow had said. After dismantling the inter-realm teleportation array and setting up the Emperor-level teleportation array and hiding it, Night Sorrow clapped his hands. Done. Then let's go to the campsite, said Dachura. There's no hurry. Let's talk about our gains and some other decisions first, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, go ahead. Lin Xianer knew that Night Sorrow had more to say. Now that we have close to 3,000 flames of life, I plan to hand over 1,000 directly to the Ethereal Battle Monarch. Not for anything else but for the right to talk to the Ethereal Battle Monarch once. As for the remaining 2,000, Luo and I will take 1,000, and Sister Xianer will take 1,000, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow, what kind of decision is this? It's right for you to hand over 1,000 to the Ethereal City Lord, but why are you giving me 1,000? I have some things that I can't tell you at the moment, and I'm already feeling very guilty. Give me 300. You'll feel bad if you don't take even a little. Don't say anything else or I won't be able to accept it, said Lin Xianer. She was indeed very touched. Lin Xianer knew that Yi Shang was willing to hand over 1,000 more flames of life to Ethereal City's City Lord's mansion because of her opportunity. She also admired Yi Shang for directly using 1,000 flames of life as a stepping stone. Not everyone could make such a decision and not everyone had the courage to do so. Then I'll listen to Sister Xianer. That Jinling is a glutton and needs flames of life to evolve. I can't not support him, Night Sorrow thought for a moment and nodded. After the distribution, Night Sorrow and the other two returned to the main campsite. At this time, many people had returned because there were still 2 days before the retreat. Those who couldn't return might never return, just like Xiaoyang. Song Ning and Wu Feng were very happy to see that Night Sorrow and the other two had returned. Song Ning invited them into the main tent and brewed a pot of tea. Are you guys in a hurry? Wu Feng and I are very anxious. Sorry for making Boss Song and brother Wu Feng worry. Old Song, this is our mission. Night Sorrow took out 60 flames of life. Lin Xianer also took out 3 Emperor-grade flames of life and handed them to Song Ning. You didn't pick any mixed equipment. As a friend, I feel that you're at a disadvantage. As one of the Ethereal City Lords, I'm very pleased, Song Ning sighed and said. It's nothing. I don't need to take advantage of this. Also, I'd like to ask Old Song for a favor, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, tell me. If I can help, I'll definitely help, Song Ning nodded. Night Sorrow took out 10 spirit array containers and pushed them in front of Song Ning. Here are 1,000 flames of life. I didn't pick any of them. I just want to see the Ethereal Battle Emperor and have a chance to enter the Evil Punisher land again. Lord Battle Emperor, you can name your conditions. Night Sorrow, 1,000 flames of life. That's about all 3 of you can get in one time. And you only want one chance to enter. Is it worth it? Song Ning stood up and looked at Lin Xianer. She didn't understand the situation. Sometimes there's no such thing as whether it's worth it or not. It's only about whether you should do it or not. Boss Song, please help me pass on the message. Thank you. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Song Ning. Alright, then I'll accept it first. I'll pass on your request. Seeing Lin Xianer turn her head to the side and ignore her questioning gaze, Song Ning had no choice but to accept it first. She planned to ask Lin Xianer about it when there was no one around. Chapter 1658. Wu Feng didn't ask because he knew that Night Sorrow must have his reasons for doing so. After that, Night Sorrow, Dachura, and Lin Xianer left the main tent while Night Sorrow went to get 2 tents. Dachura took out a jug of wine, poured 3 cups and pushed them in front of Night Sorrow and Lin Xianer. Night Sorrow, although you lost some resources, I support you. Friends are hard to find. You did well. Dachura raised his cup to Night Sorrow. Thank you. I was worried that you wouldn't understand. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Of course not. Sister Xianer is our friend. Besides, no matter what you did was right or wrong, I will always be by your side. A real man should be like you. Dachura nodded to Night Sorrow. Are you husband and wife? One says thank you and the other is shameless enough to praise you. Lin Xianer said with a smile. It's always been like this in my family. Even if it's just pouring a cup of water for the children, we will always say thank you. It's because my sisters taught us well and also because of Night Sorrow's influence. As for praise, if I think it's right, then it should be praised. Praise is support and encouragement. Datura said. There's only one Night Clan in this world. That's all I can say. Lin Xian'er said. It was time to retreat. Song Ning went to Night Sorrow's tent. It's time. That brat from the Zhaohua dynasty hasn't returned. He's probably dead. Close to 20 of our soldiers didn't return. Their soul crystals have turned black. They're also dead. Song Ning's voice was a little soft and sad. She had a good relationship with the soldiers of the Song Ning army. This is fate, Lin Xian'er said. After that, the group left the camp and returned to the celestial realm through the evil Punisher Gate. All of you listen up, especially you loose cultivators. After this place is sealed, it will become a sealing-killing array. If you don't want to die, don't come near. Now return to the Imperial City. Song Ning ordered. At the same time, she took out the sealing array disc and activated the sealing array. She could activate it, but she could not stop it. After returning to the ethereal Imperial City, everyone went their separate ways. Night Sorrow and the other two returned to the Night Moon Manor. Song Ning immediately went to the towering glazed pagoda of the City Lord's mansion. When Song Ning arrived, the doors of the glazed pagoda opened wide, allowing him to enter. Dressed in loose robes, Lin Xian'er stood with her hands behind her back. This was her original body. She knew Song Ning would definitely come. Miss, what's going on? Song Ning didn't stop to rest after returning to the ethereal Imperial City. Actually, I was also very confused. I never thought that he would make such a decision. Because of this, he became my first friend, Lin Xian'er said as she sat on the only chair in the hall. Miss, what happened after you went in? Song Ning asked. Something did happen. His 1,000 flames of life was actually for Lin Xian'er. Take it back for him. I can't accept it. Lin Xian'er smiled helplessly because the 1,000 flames of life was burning her heart. I feel very guilty for hiding my identity. You can say that I lied to him. How could I bear to let him worry about me? Also, his current lair is at the Star Moon Lake near our Greenwater City. Tell Night Sorrow that the area around the Star Moon Lake is the territory of the Star Moon Lake. Also, inform the nearby cities to not interfere with the development of the Star Moon Lake. Also, tell him that the Ethereal Empire will not restrict the development of the Star Moon Lake. He has full autonomy. If he is willing, he can accept this token if he pays 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones every 10,000 years and the Misty Dynasty is willing to protect the Star Moon Lake. Lin Xian'er, or rather, the Misty Battle Empress, threw a token to Song Ning. Song Ning thanks Miss on behalf of Night Sorrow. Song Ning took the token and bowed to the Ethereal Battle Empress. You can't accept this token. You can't do that and I don't need it. This is what I should do, Ethereal Battle Emperor said. Miss, this guy has gained your friendship. This is a huge gain. It means that his realm has a foundation. Song Ning was a little surprised by the Ethereal Battle Empress's decision. You're wrong. It's not that he gained my friendship. Friendship is not that cheap. It was not easy for me to gain his friendship. Inform him that I will arrange for the three of them to come in again at a suitable time. When they come out, they will have to hand over 300 flames of life, said the Ethereal Battle Empress. All right, I will arrange it. Song Ning nodded. Also, Wu Feng is interested in you. No matter how willing you are, he will have to come to me to ask for your hand in marriage. It's not like you don't have any relatives. If you marry a woman from the Lin family, there must be an explanation. Go back. The Ethereal Battle Empress waved her hand. Miss, wait. If he asks how we know about the Star Moon Lake, what should we say? Asked Song Ning. Your brain has been a little slow recently. Don't tell me you can't hide anything from the Ethereal Dynasty? The Ethereal Battle Empress glared at Song Ning. Song Ning smiled embarrassedly and left the glazed pagoda. She was very happy. She was really happy. She had solved a lot of problems by coming here. After staying in the Night Moon Villa for a while, Night Sorrow went to the Imperial Master Pavilion. That was his business. He had to take care of it. After looking around, Night Sorrow found that everything was fine. He went to the pavilion behind the Imperial Master Pavilion. He planned to arrange the flames of life and put some on the shelves to exchange for high-grade materials. Night Sorrow was in a good mood. He took out the 8-dragon cauldron and placed it beside him. Just as Night Sorrow was about to differentiate the flames of life, he found that everything was still. Even the flame in the crystal lamp stopped dancing. Everything was still. Domain, an extremely vast domain. Everything in the Imperial Master Pavilion was still. Only Night Sorrow could move. At this time, a middle-aged man appeared in Night Sorrow's room. The middle-aged man was wearing a loose robe and had a smile on his face. Unlike other cultivators who had long hair, this middle-aged man had short hair. May I ask why Senior is looking for Night Sorrow? Night Sorrow cupped his fists towards the middle-aged man. He knew that although the middle-aged man was calm, he was definitely a peerless expert. I'm here for you and for him. The middle-aged man pointed to the golden body evil spirit. That little girl is still not careful enough. You didn't notice it either. The golden body divine spirit doesn't seem to have any problems, but the evil punishing land left behind by Guizhou isn't so simple. Come out. The middle-aged man stretched out his right hand towards the golden body divine spirit. The middle-aged man's right hand was filled with a mysterious aura. Night Sorrow did not see any energy fluctuations, but a black energy was grabbed out of the golden body divine spirit. It was a soul. This soul began to struggle. Fine spatial cracks appeared around the soul. Guizhou, you should not have had any ideas about world merit. The heavenly way does not allow it. Suppress. The middle-aged man shook his right hand and the black soul was scattered. Then the soul began to reassemble. A ghost face appeared on the reassembled soul. Tran Hung. What are you doing? Chapter 1659. After capturing the soul, the middle-aged man stored it in a golden artifact. This needs to be refined slowly. This is? Night Sorrow was a little confused. Little brat, you're still young and don't understand the methods of those old fellows. Guizhou's soul resides in this golden body divine spirit, but the sudden appearance of a pure soul has disrupted his plans. However, he only needs some time to complete the possession and corrosion. When that time comes, you will be the first to suffer. The middle-aged man pulled out a chair and sat down, pointing to the teapot in front of Night Sorrow. Then I'll thank Senior. Night Sorrow took the teapot and began to brew tea. He knew that this middle-aged man had no ill intentions. What's Senior or Junior? In fact, I've just cultivated for a few years. You can call me Elder Brother, the middle-aged man corrected Night Sorrow. While drinking tea, the middle-aged man did not speak. After drinking a cup of tea, the middle-aged man stood up. Cultivate your body, cultivate your morals and respect your heart. The road ahead is long, but it will also be smooth. Guizhou called Elder Brother Tran Hung. May I know which person on the God and Demon list is Elder Brother? Seeing that the middle-aged man was about to leave, Night Sorrow asked. At this time, the middle-aged man's figure had already disappeared, but his voice sounded, I'm not on the list, but the God and Demon list was written by Elder Brother. Night Sorrow's body trembled. What kind of concept was this? The person who wrote the God and Demon list should at least know the strength of all the experts on the list. His own strength should be above the experts on the list. Everything returned to normal and the world returned to normal. Could even be said that no one knew what had happened. Jin Ling also stepped forward and walked around Night Sorrow. He also did not know that he had just survived a crisis. If not for Tran Hung's help, he would have been possessed by Guizhou in the future. Without tidying up his fires of life, Night Sorrow left the Emperor's Teacher Tower and returned to Night Moon Villa. His heart was not calm. A domain that could freeze a large area was too powerful. In that state he could kill anyone he wanted. Song Ning arrived at the Night Moon Villa and Lin Xian'er was there as well, sitting at the same table as Night Sorrow. Seeing that Night Sorrow was distracted, Song Ning waved his hand in front of Night Sorrow's eyes. Night Sorrow rubbed his eyes. Is everyone here? What are you thinking about? Datura asked. Nothing much, old Song is here. Night Sorrow greeted. I'm here today with some good news, Song Ning said. What good news? Datura asked eagerly. This time around, you guys have done a meritorious deed for the ethereal dynasty by killing so many evil spirits. Later on, the heavens will naturally have some sort of reaction. However, things like fortune are intangible. Song Ning spoke up. The rules of the celestial realm have a cycle. When it covers this area, fortune and merit will descend. Lin Xian'er added. The Battle Emperor will not take these 1,000 flames of life. She will not take advantage of others. As for you guys wanting to enter the evil Punisher land again, it's not impossible. However, you guys will have to hand over 300 flames of life as the price. Since you've already taken out 1,000, 300 won't make a difference. There's nothing to disagree about. I'll agree on your behalf. The Battle Emperor will find a suitable time to send you guys in. Song Ning said with a smile. Lin Xian'er turned her head to the side. Agree on her behalf? He was just lying through his teeth. However, it was still reasonable and there were no loopholes. All right, Sister Xian'er. We'll have a chance to enter. Knight Sorrow waved his arm. There's something else that the Battle Emperor wants me to convey, Song Ning said. She won't ask for other things just because she didn't take these 1,000 flames of life, right? We won't force people to do things. Datura stood up and said. Aluo, calm down. Let's see what Boss Song has to say. Knight Sorrow pulled Datura to sit down. Knight Sorrow, your base should be at the Star Moon Lake in the Greenwater City. The Battle Emperor wants to use the Star Moon Lake as the center. The surrounding 1,000,000 miles will be under the jurisdiction of the Star Moon Lake. You guys can develop freely without being restricted by the Ethereal Dynasty. However, you can't harm the Ethereal Dynasty, Song Ning said. It seems like we've been exposed. Tell me about the Ethereal Dynasty's request, Knight Sorrow said after letting out a breath. He was most worried about the Star Moon Lake and Star Moon City being exposed. I said it just now. There's no request. However, you still have a choice. If the Star Moon Lake wants to be protected by the Ethereal Dynasty, you'll have to hand over the Saint Spirit Stones. Of course, you can choose not to. The Ethereal Dynasty will not interfere with the matters of the Star Moon Lake. Naturally, they won't care if the Star Moon Lake is attacked. Song Ning moved his finger. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. I didn't expect the Ethereal Battle Emperor to be such a money grubber. Datura muttered. Aluo, be careful with your words. Song Ning reached out and pulled Datura. She knew that the Ethereal Battle Emperor was sitting right there. What's wrong with that? You won't let me speak? Lin Xian'er smiled. She naturally knew that Datura was a straightforward person. He wasn't afraid of anyone. Boss Song, it's reasonable to hand over the Saint Spirit Stones for protection. What's the price? Knight Sorrow asked. It wasn't honorable to ask for protection. However, Knight Sorrow didn't need it. The Primal Chaos Realm needed it. 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for protection for 10,000 years. Song Ning said. 100 a year? Datura looked at Song Ning in surprise. Yes, that's what the Battle Emperor said. Song Ning nodded. I'll do it. I take back what I said just now. The Battle Emperor really isn't a money grubber. Datura smiled embarrassedly. Knight Sorrow, what do you think? Song Ning looked at Knight Sorrow. The person who could make the decision was Knight Sorrow. It's a favor. I can't refuse the kindness of others. I'll take it. However, you have to tell the Battle Emperor that the Ethereal Empire needs it. As long as it doesn't go against principles or morals, Knight Sorrow will help. Knight Sorrow sighed. Knight Sorrow, you're not happy? Song Ning asked. Favors are the hardest to return in this world. I'm very grateful for the Battle Emperor's kindness. If only it was 10,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for 10,000 years. Then there would be no such thing as favors. Knight Sorrow smiled bitterly. Knight Sorrow, you're thinking too much. The Battle Emperor might not think that way. Lin Xian'er said. She didn't expect that her decision would put pressure on Knight Sorrow. Yes, it's nothing. If the Ethereal Battle Emperor has a war, I'll go. I just have to be myself. Knight Sorrow said. The Battle Emperor said that if you agree, this is for you. It's the sovereign token of the Ethereal Empire. In the Ethereal Empire, it's on the same level as the Palace Master token. When other forces see this token, they will have to give way. Song Ning handed a token to Knight Sorrow. I'm puzzled. Our Star Moon City was built very secretly. How did it get discovered? Datura was puzzled. If the Ethereal Empire wants to know something, nothing can be hidden. Actually, this is a good thing. The Battle Emperor is really kind and doesn't have any other intentions. According to my understanding of the Battle Emperor, if she has other intentions, she will say it directly. She won't use any tricks. Song Ning explained on behalf of Lin Xian'er. Chapter 1660. Knight Sorrow wanted to hold a banquet, so Song Ning went to call Wufeng. Wufeng wouldn't attend any banquets held by others. In the past few years, he hadn't attended any social events. Even if it was an invitation from the 7th Mansion head, he would reject it. He didn't want to get involved in any conflicts. However, he was more than happy to attend Knight Sorrow's banquet. Knight Sorrow was a brother he acknowledged. Wufeng and Song Ning arrived at Night Moon Villa. The banquet was ready. Yishan called for Hong Yi and Lan Ning, who were originally unwilling to sit at the table, to sit. You know our family's rules. No one will mind. Yishang looked at Lin Xian'er and Song Ning as he spoke. Wu Feng didn't understand why Night Sorrow would hold a banquet. Night Sorrow had already told him about Ethereal Battle Emperor's attitude towards Star Moon Lake. This is a good thing. It's worth celebrating. Wu Feng was stunned. Ethereal Dynasty's policy towards Star Moon Lake was surprisingly good. Night Sorrow isn't too willing. He feels like he owes her a favor, Song Ning said with a smile. Brother, I know you have your principles, but you don't have to think too much. If Ethereal Dynasty needs something, we will do what we can. But if it goes against our principles, then there's nothing we can do about it. Looking at it from another angle, Lord Battle Emperor is magnanimous. We can't use favors to profane her magnanimity, Wu Feng said to Night Sorrow. Thank you for your advice, big brother. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. It's good that you understand. Don't feel pressured. You're a man with an indomitable spirit. You know what to do. You're just putting too much pressure on yourself. I've seen the Battle Emperor before. She's indeed magnanimous. Although she's a woman, she's definitely not inferior to men, Wu Feng said with a smile. You've only seen her once. Song Ning curled his lips. You can tell what kind of person some people are after meeting them once. Night Sorrow and I became friends after meeting once. The War Emperor was very generous when it came to me. She helped others without asking for anything in return. Of course, whether it's me or Yishang, we won't go against our conscience and accept benefits from others. Alright, let's drink. This is indeed something worth celebrating. Wu Feng raised his glass to Yishang. Lin Xian'er had a smile on her face because Wu Feng's evaluation was very honest. Everything she heard behind the scenes was the truth. Night Sorrow nodded. Yes, my mind is much clearer now. That's very good of you. How many years has it been for me to become a manor lord? I even have to follow the orders of the city lord manor. As for you, you don't have to care about anything. If there's any festive event in the Ethereal Dynasty, you'll be invited and have a seat, said Song Ning. I'm very grateful to the War Emperor for thinking so highly of me. If there's a chance, I'll have to thank her. Night Sorrow smiled. Looking at things from a different perspective, he felt much more relaxed. After drinking, Wu Feng and Song Ning left. Datura also sent Lin Xian'er to rest. Night Sorrow brought Jin Ling to his resting place and communicated with Jin Ling. Jin Ling needed flames of life that were above the Heaven Monarch realm. Low-level flames of life would not be of much use. Night Sorrow sorted out his flames of life and put a storage ring on Jin Ling. He filled it with 30 flames of life and told Jin Ling how to use it. Night Sorrow didn't have many flames of life that were above the Heaven Monarch realm. However, the consumption of flames of life of Heaven Monarch realm was not high. After all, it wasn't a resource that could be used indefinitely. After using a few flames of life, it couldn't be used anymore. For example, Night Sorrow and Datura's soul energy was saturated and couldn't be strengthened any further. Night Sorrow still had 1,700 to 800 flames of life. After sorting it out, Night Sorrow planned to send some flames of life back to Xinhua City. Letting Jin Ling cultivate by herself in Night Moon Villa, Night Sorrow took Datura to the former Night Mansion. He called for Qing Emperor and Wu Ling Mountain Chieftain to take the teleportation formation to Xinhua City. Night Sorrow, Datura, and Qing Emperor arrived at the City Lord Manor. Tang Jianfeng, Lord of Heaven God Hu, and the others all came over. They all knew that Night Sorrow usually had something to do when he came back. After everyone sat down, Night Sorrow explained the current situation. Domain Lord, are you saying that we can expand our forces now? Yuandao Heavenly Lord asked in surprise. That's right. The Misty Dynasty won't attack us. Instead, they'll protect our development. Night Sorrow nodded. That is to say, we can develop like the other powers. Yuandao Heavenly Lord said excitedly. It's like this. We can start developing now. Here are the flames of life. Master, you can use them as you see fit. As for how to arrange them, you can distribute them to whoever you want. Yishang took out 2 bottles of flames of life and handed them to Emperor Qing. What is the fire of life? Qing Emperor was a little confused. Datura then explained to Qing Emperor and the others the purpose of the fire of life. This is too precious. We have to use it carefully. Domain Lord, aren't you going to exchange it for resources? Leave some for the Domain Lord's manor and give it to those who have contributed, Heaven Lord Xinhu said. Everyone knew their limits. They all knew how difficult it was for Night Sorrow. Don't worry. If the chaotic realm develops well, we'll have the confidence to stand out, Night Sorrow said. After communicating with everyone, Night Sorrow told Qing Emperor and the others that in the past, the Yi Manor and the Celestial Master Pavilion could hang a plaque in Star Moon City. After settling the matters in Star Moon City, Night Sorrow and Dachura returned to the city in the sky. He gave some of the Saint-level and King-level fires of life to Sikong Chuyu and Tai Shiyin. After explaining their effects, he asked them to distribute them accordingly. Night Sorrow also gave some to Yang Lei. He asked Yang Lei to give some to Yang Yu, the people from Medicine Valley, and the members of the God-slaying team. Night Sorrow did not forget anyone who had passed by him. Feeling that he did not leave anything behind, Night Sorrow stayed at home for 2 days. He told his family that they could go to the ethereal Imperial City if they wanted to, but they had to be careful and not run around. After all, he still had enemies. After Night Sorrow and Dachura returned to the ethereal Imperial City, they saw Tsang Ning in the Night Moon Villa. The City Lord's Manor has passed down the order that Star Moon Lake is the fief of the Overlord. The ethereal Imperial City recognizes Star Moon Lake as a force, Tsang Ning said to Night Sorrow. But I haven't handed over the Holy Spirit stones. Night Sorrow said. He felt that the ethereal Imperial City had acted a little too quickly. Sigh. You haven't handed them over, but you have me. You don't have to worry about this. Tsang Ning looked at Night Sorrow and shook his head. Night Sorrow took out a storage ring and said, "Help me hand over another 2 million. Okay, I'll do it for you. Night Sorrow, your mansion can hang the signboard of Star Moon Lake. Star Moon Lake's Night Moon Villa is not bad," Tsang Ning said. "There's no need for that, right? Wouldn't that be too ostentatious? Let others know that Star Moon Lake is related to me," Night Sorrow said. "It's to let others know that it's related to you so that they won't dare to make a move," Lin Xianair said. "Sister Xianair, do you think my strength is enough to intimidate others?" Night Sorrow asked with a smile. Chapter 1661. Moonstar Lake is a force recognized by the Ethereal Dynasty. They also have the sovereign token of the Ethereal Dynasty. Would Moon-Gazing Manor and Sky Sun Manor dare to touch them? Definitely not. The Ethereal Dynasty doesn't forbid internal conflicts, but there are rules. If they dare to use underhanded means outside the rules, the War Emperor can crush them to death. You're not afraid of battles within the rules, and you're not afraid of anyone below the Emperor Realm. There's no one above the Emperor Realm in Moonstar Lake. Their Emperor Realm cultivators are just decorations, Tsang Ning explained when he saw that Night Sorrow didn't understand. If their Emperor Realm cultivators make a move, Big Brother won't sit back and do nothing. Wu Feng looked at Night Sorrow and said. "You have friends and brothers, so there's nothing to worry about," Lin Xianair said. "Then I'll hang up. But Boss Tsang, you have to know that I won't let the Moon-Gazing Manor and Sky Sun Manor off the hook for bullying me. I can't swallow my anger, they must pay the price," Night Sorrow explained his point of view. "Then we'll make them submit until they come to apologize," Lin Xianair said when she saw that Tsang Ning didn't know what to say. She was telling Tsang Ning her attitude. This might hurt the Ethereal Dynasty, but they are the weakness of the Ethereal Dynasty. They are also a tumor that must be dealt with. If they don't recognize their mistakes, they will suffer in the future and even endanger the stability of the Ethereal Dynasty. Gong Yufan was able to give Yuan-Ji the Celestial Sect's puppet, which means that he has a good relationship with the Celestial Sect. If I don't deal with someone like him, who else can I deal with? Night Sorrow said. "You're right. I'm sure the Ethereal War Emperor can understand. You're helping the Ethereal Dynasty solve its internal problems," Lin Xianair said. Tsang Ning took the Saint Spirit Stone that Night Sorrow gave him and left. Wu Feng also left the Night Moon Manor. "I'm going to refine a batch of seals that belong to the Moonstar Lake. Our people will bring them with them when they go out in the future. This way, if anyone wants to play any underhanded tricks, they won't have a reason to do so," Night Sorrow said after thinking for a moment. "You're very meticulous. This way there won't be an excuse for accidental injury." Lin Xianair nodded. "Sister Xianair, since the Battle Emperor has agreed to let us go to the evil punishing land, we won't activate that hidden hand. Sister Xianair can only wait," Night Sorrow said. "I'm not in a hurry, I'm really not in a hurry," Lin Xianair smiled as she shook her head. She understood that Night Sorrow was genuinely concerned about his friend. "Then we will wait. Hong Yi, continue to issue a challenge to the Heaven Monarch of Guanyue Prefecture according to the list," Night Sorrow said to Hong Yi. Hong Yi nodded. "Don't worry, young master. I will arrange it. Young master, call the members of the God-slaying squad over." They don't have anything to do every day and they are so anxious that they are crying out. Lan Ning asked. Okay, I'll leave it to you. Night Sorrow agreed after thinking for a while. Starmoon Lake still needs to develop quickly. 10,000 years is nothing in the celestial realm, and it will pass in the blink of an eye. Which force in the celestial realm hasn't developed for millions of years? The ethereal dynasty only charges 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones for protection for 10,000 years. 100 Saint Spirit Stones a year is very cheap, but have you thought about what would happen if Starmoon Lake didn't develop for 1,000,000 years? You can't afford it, Lin Xian'er said to Night Sorrow. Yes, I've thought about this problem too. 100 Saint Spirit Stones a year is nothing in the short term, but 10,000 years would require 1,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones, and 1,000,000 years would require more than 100,000,000 Saint Spirit Stones. Thus, the ethereal dynasty is helping us stabilize in the early stages. If we want stability with this treatment, it won't work, Datura said. I know, how could I not consider this problem? What we need now is development. Aluo, can you not become an emperor in 10,000 years? Or can I not become an emperor in 10,000 years? Strength determines status. We can ask for protection or we can choose not to, said Yishan. Is it appropriate to not ask for protection? Datura was stunned. We accept protection because we are weak and we need it because we are weak. When we are strong enough, I believe the ethereal war emperor will make a new decision. If you become an emperor, will the ethereal dynasty still accept the Saint Spirit Stones for protection? That's not a joke. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Originally, I was anxious for you and worried that you would feel pressured, but in front of your confidence, this pressure is nothing. Lin Xian'er smiled. I'm 180 years old this year, and I can cultivate to half-step emperor. No one knows what will happen in 10,000 years. I've already paid for 30,000 years. If I can't achieve anything in 30,000 years, I'll have lived in vain, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Well said. If you have this confidence, then there's nothing wrong with that. However, Night Sorrow, you must remember that no matter if you become an emperor, or an emperor, you can't leave me out of the celebration banquet. Lin Xian'er looked at Night Sorrow and said, Big Sister Xian'er, what are you saying? Night Moon Villa has your residence, so it's your home. You'll be there at any time. No banquet can be left out of Big Sister Xian'er. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xian'er nodded. Night Moon Villa had really become a place for her to stay. Big Sister Xian'er, you have a lot of experience. Can I ask you something? Night Sorrow asked. He wanted to know more about Tran Hung. Go ahead, I'll tell you if I know. Lin Xian'er nodded. In the celestial realm, experts are respected by those on the celestial demon list. However, is the celestial demon list fair and reasonable? Do the experts on the celestial demon list agree? Night Sorrow asked. The celestial demon list is a comprehensive evaluation based on cultivation, absolute arts, weapons, treasures, attributes, and so on. It's relatively fair. Currently, no one has publicly questioned it. Of course, there are examples of successful challengers. However, the successful challengers also increased their strength after the celestial demon list was created. Therefore, there's no such thing as unreasonable. Lin Xian'er nodded. That means that the celestial demon list covers all the experts in the world. Datura asked. You can't say that. There are many reclusive cultivators who have never come out of seclusion and have never made a move. There are such people who have never made a move. However, you haven't made a move, so you can't question the celestial demon list. Lin Xian'er shook her head. Then what's the situation with the person who created the celestial demon list? Night Sorrow asked the question he wanted to ask. See section T of the original version √% chapter, off, Tran Hung. Everyone only knows him as Tran Hung. He has existed for a very long time and is the most respected emperor in the celestial realm. No one can question his strength or his legitimacy. There was once an almighty Azure Dragon who asked Tran Hung why the experts of the Azure Dragons couldn't be on the list. Tran Hung said that the celestial demon list only included human cultivators and was only a list to encourage human cultivators to improve. It had nothing to do with beasts. In the end, the almighty Azure Dragon refused to accept it and made a move. What's the result? Lin Xian'er asked with a smile. Sister Xian'er, don't make us anxious. Hurry up and tell us. Datura asked anxiously. Chapter 1662. So overbearing? But it's a pity that I'm not a human, so I don't have the chance to enter the list, Datura said, shaking his head. No, Aluo, are you Dachira's flower now? You've completely transformed into a human, so you're a human in the world of Tranhung. What he doesn't approve of is that you're not a human. For example, divine beast clans or talented monster beasts, they're unwilling to give up their beast form. Even if they appear in human form, it's still an illusion. Such cultivators aren't qualified to enter the celestial demon list, Lin Xian'er explained. I've completely transformed into a human. Even if I fight in my original form, it's still a skill. It has nothing to do with my genetic structure. This is proven by the fact that Night Sorrow and I can have children, Dachira nodded. Tranhung is fair and is the pride of our human race. It's also the reason why the human race can dominate the celestial realm. So what if the divine beast clans are strong? They're still in their own world and can't dominate the celestial realm, Lin Xian'er said. I've seen him before. He's a very peaceful elder, Night Sorrow said. What? You've seen Tranhung? Lin Xian'er asked in surprise. I've seen him before. He helped me solve a hidden danger. The soul of the Guizhou was hidden in the body of the golden body divine spirit and was captured by Tranhung and suppressed. Night Sorrow nodded. How many years has it been since anyone has seen Tranhung? He actually appeared in the Misty Dynasty and helped you solve a big problem. How rare. Lin Xian'er's face was full of shock. The Misty Dynasty was her territory. It could be said that everything was under her control. However, she didn't know that Tranhung had come. This also showed that there was a gap between them. After all, she was the Battle Emperor who was ranked first on the Celestial Demon list. After thinking about it for a moment, Lin Xian'er shook her head. There were more than 100 experts on the Celestial Demon list, and she was ranked first because she was the strongest in terms of direct combat. However, in terms of speed and concealment, there were many people who were stronger than her, not to mention Tranhung, who was the pillar of the human race. Night Sorrow, why didn't you say anything? We have to meet such a person. Dachira complained to Night Sorrow. I didn't know at first and we didn't talk. He just left after drinking a cup of tea. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Lin Xian'er shook her head. She knew that Tranhung wasn't someone that anyone could meet if they wanted to. She had never met him before, or even if she had met him, she didn't know. It was just like how Night Sorrow met her. He only knew that she was Lin Xian'er and didn't know that she was the Misty Battle Emperor. The signboard of the Night Moon Villa changed to the Star Moon Lake's Night Moon Villa. Lin Xian'er had an idea. She took out a big stone from the villa and placed it beside the gate. She waved her sword and carved the words Lord's Mansion. Gong Yufan of the Moon Viewing Mansion and Yang Tianlai of the Sun Mansion knew about it. They were shocked because their sense of superiority as mansion lords was gone. They were mansion lords of the Misty Dynasty, but Night Sorrow was now a lord recognized by the Misty Dynasty. His status and position were not inferior to theirs. If he were to play any tricks, Song Ning and Wu Feng wouldn't even need to be angry. The Battle Emperor would crush them to death. Luo Yuandao brought Luo Fei to the Night Moon Villa and brought gifts to congratulate him. Night Sorrow received Luo Yuandao and his son. This was Luo Yuandao's second visit to the Night Moon Villa. The first time he came, he expressed his sincerity. He even openly said that it wasn't Night Sorrow's fault that Luo Fei's original body was killed, even if Night Sorrow was the killer. As for whether it was true or not, everyone knew. Lord Knight, it hasn't been long since I last came. I hope it's not a new scene. Luo Yuandao said after sitting down. Oh, new, fastest Y on P hashtag. Asterisk, being able to gain a foothold in the Misty Dynasty is also due to luck. Young Mansion Lord Luo, have a seat. Night Sorrow invited Luo Fei to sit. You can't use luck to erase your hard work. It's not easy. Luo Yuandao naturally knew about the conflict between Night Sorrow, Yuanji, and Gong Yufan. Ah. Night Sorrow is very happy that Mansion Lord Luo is here. Please try this tea. Night Sorrow poured a cup of heart-cleansing tea for Luo Yuandao. Night Sorrow didn't neglect Luo Fei. He also poured a cup of tea for Luo Fei, who received it with both hands. You're too polite. I, Luo Yuandao, believe that I have a good eye for people. I didn't want to become enemies with Lord Knight because I felt that it wasn't easy for young people to come out. Of course, this isn't enough to resolve some problems. Sometimes, kindness is a luxury. Most importantly, I feel that you will have a bright future. Luo Yuandao said. Mansion Lord Luo's words are too serious. However, it's rare to have kindness in your heart. Night Sorrow nodded. I just came out of Star Moon Lake and may encounter some problems. If you need help, Lord Night Sorrow doesn't need to be polite. You can send someone to Shadow Mansion to inform me. I'm willing to make friends with you and form some good karma. Luo Yuandao expressed his willingness to befriend Luo Fei. Night Sorrow thanks Mansion Lord Luo. I will accept Night Sorrow's hospitality. Night Sorrow smiled. He felt that Luo Yuandao was definitely an ambitious person. He was decisive and didn't hesitate in the slightest. Whatever he had in mind, he would immediately make a decision. Lord Night Sorrow is young and promising. If our Luo family's children have half of your ability, then I won't have to worry. Fei, remember to be like Night Sorrow. Luo Yuandao looked at his son beside him and said. Luo Fei stood up and bowed to Night Sorrow. He had almost recovered. Luo Yuandao had paid a huge price to repair his scattered soul after the fall of his original body. His soul had also fused with his damaged body. All that was left was to perfect the fusion. Young Prefecture Lord is too polite. I can see that young Prefecture Lord's soul spirit isn't in good condition. I just went to the evil Punisher land. Please accept these flames of life, young Prefecture Lord. Yishang took out a jade bottle and handed it to Luo Fei. It contained 3 Heaven Monarch Realm flames of life. This is not appropriate. Today my father and I are here to congratulate Lord Night Sorrow. Luo Fei didn't bring any gifts. How can I let Lord Night Sorrow spend money? Luo Fei cupped his hands and shook his head at Night Sorrow. Mansion Lord Luo, we don't need to be so polite. Night Sorrow looked at Luo Yuandao. Fei, father has taught you not to accept the kindness of others easily. However, I have also told you not to refuse the kindness of friends. Just keep it in your heart. Accept this gift. Luo Yuandao said to Luo Fei. Luo Fei thanks Lord Night. I will remember your kindness. Luo Fei reached out and took the jade bottle in Night Sorrow's hand. After chatting for a while, Luo Yuandao invited Night Sorrow to the Shadow Mansion as a guest when he had time. He then left the Night Moon Villa with Luo Fei. This is Luo Yuandao, one of the true figures of the Ethereal Imperial City. He is loyal to the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty and is deeply trusted by the Ethereal Battle Emperor. He acts both righteous and evil but has his own judgment of right and wrong. It is difficult for him to make a mistake. This can be seen from the way he treats you. Back then, the Grand Elder of the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty Yuan was incomparable to him in terms of strategy and ability. He will soon rise to the top of the Ethereal Imperial Dynasty. Lin Xian'er said. He is already a Mansion Lord. How can he rise to the top? Datura asked in surprise. Chapter 1663. Sister Xin, you mean that Boss Tsang is trusted by the War Emperor, but in terms of ability Luo Yuandao is more competent? Night Sorrow asked. Yes. Luo Yuandao is not as good as Tsang Ning in terms of battle strength, but he is better at management. Tsang Ning does not need any status, nor does she need to be promoted to establish her position in the Ethereal Dynasty. She is the sister of the Ethereal War Emperor and comes from the same family. That is enough. It was the same in the past. Do you see how Tsang Ning is afraid of the great elder Yuan? She is not afraid at all, ha. Lin Xian'er said with a smile. Indeed, Sister Xian'er is right. Luo Yuandao is very calm and won't make any mistakes. Night Sorrow nodded. That. I also know the War Emperor. If you have a different opinion, I can convey it. Lin Xian'er said. Oh. Sister Xian'er also knows a big shot, but I don't have any opinion. I've interacted with Luo Yuandao a few times. There were conflicts in the past, but he chose to back down. Later he came to resolve the conflict. With such a magnanimous heart, I don't reject him. Through the exchange just now, I recognize his character, said Yishan. His ascension will only bring benefits to Star Moon Lake. Datura said. Lin Xian'er shared her thoughts with Night Sorrow and Datura. In fact, after Yuanji's fall, Lin Xian'er already had this intention, but she didn't make any arrangements. After seeing Luo Yuandao's performance today, she was firm in her decision. Inside the Shadow Mansion. Father, Night Sorrow's rise is too fast. He is now a half-step sovereign. Luo Fei said. Once this little guy enters the Emperor realm, he'll be amazing. He won't be able to stop himself. Even the emperors of the older generation will be left behind by him. Sir War Emperor has foresight in arranging him to be the overlord. He's the second overlord in the history of the Ethereal Dynasty. You know the first overlord is Lin Qixing. Who dares to provoke Lin Qixing now? Luo Yuandao asked. Your son admires him. He dares to fight and fight. He's fighting his way out. Luo Fei sighed. We don't lack the fire of life of the heaven monarch realm, but accepting it is a sign of our attitude. Sometimes one's attitude decides everything. Aside from the view of benefits, he was also a rare good friend. Look at that damn fatty from the pawnshop. Now that Yuan Ji had brought him along, he was also doing well. What could Yuan Ji do to him? Besides, how bad could the person that Song Ning and Wu Feng approved be? In Jianghu you need sincere friends. Since you can admire him, it means that there is no barrier in your heart. Father can rest assured. Luo Yuandao patted his son's shoulder. Fei, will always remember father's teachings. Some setbacks might be an opportunity for me to rise. Luo Fei nodded. That's enough. There's no problem with you becoming the deputy mansion lord of our shadow mansion, Luo Yuandao said. Vice prefecture lord? Father, what are you doing? Luo Fei was a bit confused because there was no such thing as a vice prefecture lord in the 7 prefectures. Our Luo family has so many young mansion lords, but most of them are trash. In order for you to develop as soon as possible, Shadow Mansion will have a deputy mansion lord. Those emperors and commanders will also be under your command. You don't have to worry. No matter what you do, father will be there. Luo Yuandao nodded to his son. Luo Yuandao believed in destruction and reconstruction. When he found that his son's original body had an accident but didn't completely perish, he felt that this was a ray of hope in the heavenly Tao. Once he passed the tribulation, he would have a smooth road ahead. Therefore he helped his son recover at all costs. Fei, won't disappoint father. Luo Fei bowed to Luo Yuandao. This is confidence. Luo Yuandao laughed. Song Ning, I admit that you are strong. Lin Qixing, I also admit that you have great potential. I'm not as good as you in these aspects, but our Luo family will continue to have people in the future. Our Luo family is a big family. Luo Yuandao announced that Luo Fei would be the vice mansion lord. This caused an uproar in the Shadow Mansion. One had to know that there were more than 10 vice mansion lords and several princesses in the Shadow Mansion. Luo Fei, who had been keeping a low profile recently and whose original body was almost destroyed, was appointed as the vice mansion lord. This was because there were a few vice mansion lords who were stronger than Luo Fei and had more subordinates. All the core members of the Dark Shadow Manor had gathered in the Dark Shadow Great Hall, including a few elders, emperor-level commanders and some young masters. There were 3 grand elders in the Shadow Mansion. One of them was the patriarch of a family with a different surname and the other was the sect master of a sect. They trusted Luo Yuandao, so they joined the Shadow Mansion and became grand elders. Luo Yuandao also treated them well. Do the 3 grand elders have any objections to my decision? Luo Yuandao looked at the 3 grand elders of the Shadow Mansion. We haven't seen the vice mansion lord's ability, but we know that the mansion lord's decision can't be wrong. We support it. The first grand elder said. Yes. Although we don't know the vice mansion lord's situation, the mansion lord's approval can't be wrong. The second grand elder nodded in agreement. The 3 grand elders and the 2 emperor rank commanders had no objections. Then it's decided. From today onwards, Luo Fei will be the vice mansion lord of the Shadow Mansion. I'll leave my words here. No matter whether his decision is right or wrong, no one in the Shadow Mansion can go against it. If anyone is dissatisfied, they can come to me after the matter is over. However, if anyone dares to contradict or disobey, they will be executed. The grand elders and commanders did not object, not because they trusted Luo Fei, but because they trusted Luo Yuandao's foresight. They trusted Luo Yuandao unconditionally. Not only did Luo Yuandao announce this within the Shadow Mansion, but he also announced this decision to the public. It could be said that he had confirmed Luo Fei as the successor of the Shadow Mansion. Night Sorrow also received the news. This Luo Yuandao is really bold. He directly appointed Luo Fei without caring if he can convince the public, Datura said. It doesn't matter if Luo Fei can convince the public at the moment. It's enough that Luo Yuandao can convince the public. We have to congratulate Luo Fei for becoming the vice mansion lord, Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow did not bring any expensive gifts as the Shadow Mansion did not lack them. He only brought 2 packets of heart-cleansing tea and 2 jars of wine from the Chaos Realm. He then brought Datura and Ji Dao to the Shadow Mansion. He could not enter. When they arrived at the Shadow Mansion, Night Sorrow asked for an audience. The gatekeeper did not let him in because they did not know the relationship between Night Sorrow and the Shadow Mansion. H++U++MP. This made Night Sorrow feel conflicted. How could he congratulate if he could not enter? What's going on? Night Overlord is blocked outside and cannot enter. Is his way of treating guests speechless? Mansion Lord Luo, Night Overlord is here to congratulate but cannot enter. Lin Qixing appeared. After smiling at Night Sorrow, he shouted towards the Shadow Mansion. After shouting, he did not enter and stood at the entrance to accompany Night Sorrow. Lin Qixing was of low birth and his path was very similar to Night Sorrow's. He was also an overlord at first and later joined the ethereal royal dynasty to become a mansion lord. However, he joined for a reason. His master was an elder of the ethereal city lord mansion. Chapter 1664. Luo Fei, who was in charge of receiving the guest, also apologized to the guest and quickly went to the gatehouse. My apologies, Overlord Knight. It was Luo Fei's fault. It's not wrong for you guys to guard the place carefully, but it's your fault for not reporting in time. Go and receive your punishment. Remember not to report when Overlord Knight comes in the future. He is Lord Father's honored guest, and also a good friend of mine. Luo Fei first cupped his hands in apology to Yi Shang, then took care of the guard's mistake. Vice Palace Lord Luo is too polite. Night Sorrow shook his head. Palace Lord Lin is here. Forgive me for not going out to meet you. Luo Fei cupped his hands and gestured for Lin Qixing to enter. Not bad, you have your father's style. Lin Qixing glanced at Luo Fei and nodded. We'll take your words as a compliment. Palace Lord Lin, Overlord Knight, please come in. Luo Yuandao appeared and invited Lin Qixing and Night Sorrow into the residence with a smile. Vice Palace Lord Luo has taken on a heavy responsibility. Night Sorrow is here to congratulate you. Night Sorrow placed 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine on the table. Overlord Knight, it's better if you call me Luo Fei. It's too distant to call me Vice Palace Lord, Luo Fei said. All right. Today I'm here to congratulate Brother Luo. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow, you're also an overlord now. You only brought 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine to congratulate us? Aren't you worried that Palace Lord Luo will say that our shadow residence doesn't lack 2 bags of broken leaves and 2 jars of yellow soup? Lin Qixing found a seat and sat down. Lin Qixing, are you purposely making things difficult for us? Night Sorrow, don't mind it. Everyone take a seat. Luo Yuandao gestured for Night Sorrow and Dechira to sit down before sitting down. I feel that the shadow residence doesn't lack anything, so I only brought 2 bags of tea and 2 jars of wine from my hometown. It's enough as long as it's a token of my sincerity, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Come, make the tea brought by Lord Yi and let some people taste the broken leaves. Fei, sit down, father is here to receive the guests for you. Luo Yuan waved his hand to the servants and then nodded to Luo Fei who was standing to the side. Luo Fei called for a servant to serve Ji Dao before sitting down. After the heart-cleansing tea was brewed, Luo Fei poured a cup for everyone and then slowly tasted the tea himself. After drinking a mouthful of tea, Lin Qixing closed his eyes to feel it. After a short while, he opened his eyes and the first thing he did was to grab the heart-cleansing tea on the table. Luo Yuandao stretched out his right hand to press down the unopened packet of heart-cleansing tea while Lin Qixing directly took away the open packet with his left sleeve. Lin Qixing, can you be more shameless? Not only did you not bring a gift, you even tried to snatch it? Luo Yuandao roared at Lin Qixing. Jisti, your Luo Yuandao doesn't care. Good things should be shared with everyone. Lin Qixing ignored Luo Yuandao's gaze and threw the open packet of tea into his storage ring after wrapping it up. He did everything so calmly. Luo Yuandao ignored Lin Qixing and put away the wine beside him. Lord Yi, you have to remember to guard against fire and theft against Qixing. Luo Yuandao, you can't ruin my reputation like this, right? Lin Qixing looked at Luo Yuandao and said. Do you have a reputation? At the very least, you don't have a reputation in Shadow Mansion. Luo Yuandao said. I'm leaving. Lord Yi, come to Qixing Mansion as a guest when you have time. Lin Qixing got up and left without even looking at Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao didn't see Lin Qixing off. Instead, he explained to Yi Shang with a smile, Overlord Yi, don't mind this scoundrel. Although we often argue, we're still friends. He's just like that. I can see that. He's casual because we're familiar with each other. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow and Dechira returned to Night Moon Manor with Ji Dao. Lin Qixing's visit to Shadow Mansion was a form of congratulations. Luo Yuandao was also very clear about this. When Night Sorrow was practicing his spear at night, Jidao came to report that 7 Stars Mansion Master Lin Qixing had requested to see him. He had already brought him to Night Moon Manor's waterside pavilion. Why is he here? I'll go take a look. Night Sorrow greeted Lin Xian'er and Datura who were chatting by the side and went to the waterside pavilion in front of Night Moon Manor. Lin Qixing stood up and cupped his fists when he saw Night Sorrow. Mansion Master Lin, please excuse me for not going out to welcome you. Night Sorrow said. I'm sorry to disturb you at this late hour. I'll get straight to the point. My father passed away at a young age and I only have one mother. My mother loves tea and was full of praises after drinking Lord Ye's tea today. Lin Qixing said. No problem. I only have 2 packets for now. I'll prepare more for Mansion Master Lin later. Night Sorrow took out 2 more packets of heart-cleansing tea and gave them to Lin Qixing. You're looking down on Mansion Master Yi by saying that you'll pay for it. I'm leaving. After keeping the tea, Lin Qixing left Night Moon Manor in a flash. Night Sorrow smiled and left the waterside pavilion. However, he saw Lin Xian'er and Datura walking over. Luo Yuandao is right. 7 Stars should be wary of fire and theft. Isn't this robbery? Datura said. As a son, I'm willing to take care of things for my mother. I can even say that I don't care about my face. This is filial piety. Night Sorrow shook his head with a smile. He really didn't mind and admired Lin Qixing. Aluo, Lin Qixing doesn't take anyone's things. He won't accept anything from someone he doesn't like because he thinks that Night Sorrow can do it. That's why he doesn't bother about trifles. Lin Xian'er explained Lin Qixing's way of doing things. In terms of understanding of the 7 Mansion Masters of the Ethereal Empire, Lin Xian'er was second to none. Someone once said that a filial person can't be too bad. Lin Qixing's eyes are sharp but innocent. He should be a maverick. Datura said. In the next 2 days the city lord residents sent out a decree. The Shadow Mansion Master Luo Yuandao was also the enforcement elder of the Ethereal City Lord residents and was in charge of handling the matters of the Ethereal Empire. Night Sorrow didn't find this matter strange because Lin Xian'er had already predicted it that day. Night Sorrow came to congratulate him again. At the same time the god-slaying team arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow's 2 disciples Ning Yun and Chiyue also came. Night Sorrow held a banquet for them. Night Sorrow was especially happy. He clinked glasses with each of his brothers and drank. Long Jin, Lei Bao, Lei Jing, Yun Huang, Ho Jian, Xueling, Nanliue, Ling Long and Chen Ziwei were all brothers and sisters that he valued. There was no need to mention Qin Zhen, who was his earliest brother. 13th brother, I thought you didn't care about us anymore. Tianyu, who was sitting beside Night Sorrow, said softly. That's right. I haven't seen 13th brother in a long time. Yi Mei's eyes were a little red. You guys are thinking too much. I just came to the celestial realm and didn't have a firm foothold. If there was danger, I wouldn't dare to bring you guys here. You guys are my brothers and sisters. How can I not care about you? Night Sorrow turned around and hugged Tianyu and Yi Mei. Authentic. Chapter 1 Unspecified Currency. Zilin Xian'er, who was standing in the distance, looked at the group of people drinking with shock in her eyes. Azure Rock Bloodline, Nine-Tailed Fox Bloodline, and Top Dragon's Bloodline. What kind of bloodline is this? Chapter 1665. Whether it was the Azure Rock Bloodline, the Nine-Tailed Fox Bloodline, or the Top Dragon's Bloodline, any one of them was enough to scare people to death. Void World, just how many people have planted seeds in the new Void World? Lin Xian'er muttered to herself before disappearing into the night. The battlefield of our rise has shifted to the celestial realm, but to be honest, we are all trash, so we have to endure and develop our strength. Don't go out looking for trouble. Long Jin, look after them. Night Sorrow said to Long Jin. Captain, everyone is very obedient. Long Jin said with a smile. At this time Long Jin was really rising rapidly. He was already a 6-star king. Look at the original chapter section above Q. With Night Sorrow's help, the accumulation of energy was not a problem for everyone in the god-slaying squad. Even time was not a problem. Because of the auxiliary body of the Clear Sky Pagoda, everyone had to pay attention to the increase of their realm. Hong Yi and Lan Ying are the housekeepers here. If there's anything you need, you can look for them. If there's anything you don't understand about cultivation, you can look for me or Aluo. Also, Chiyue, pay attention to your rest. If you don't pay attention, you will become a grandmaster. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chiyue was currently pregnant. After leaving, Night Sorrow entered the Dragon Cauldron and refined a batch of Star Moon Lake imprints. It was only a small array sign. After refining it, Night Sorrow injected the void energy, causing the square-inch imprint to emit a faint purple light. Night Sorrow took the purple imprint and gave it to Datura Datura. Aluo, distribute it to everyone. Send a batch to my master as well. Tell him that those who are not from the primal chaos realm are not to touch this thing. Night Sorrow gave the gold spirit an order. If cultivators with malicious intent or killing intent entered the Night Moon Villa, the Star Moon Lake imprint would distinguish between friend and foe. In addition, the gold spirit could distinguish between hostility and non-hostility. Night Sorrow was just reminding them. On this Night Sorrow, while guiding Ning Yun and the members of the God-slaying squad in their cultivation, he suddenly stopped moving. Flames appeared on his head, and below the flames was a black whirlpool filled with wind energy. Step back, don't get close. Jinling, protect me. Datura Datura shouted. Lin Shenner also appeared, soul-extinguishing flame, destructive divine wind. This is the wind-fire tribulation of the Emperor Realm. After speaking, Lin Shenner left the Night Moon Villa in a flash. After leaving the Night Moon Villa, Lin Shenner arrived at the teleportation array as quickly as she could and started the teleportation. She was teleporting towards the Heaven's Vault tribe. She knew that Night Sorrow's original body had made a breakthrough towards the 9th stage. At this time, no one would disturb him, because Night Sorrow was the center of the laws of heaven and earth during the tribulation. But what about after the tribulation? After successfully passing the tribulation, the man-made tribulation would arrive. Lin Shenner was worried that the Heaven's Vault tribe would make things difficult for Night Sorrow. They would invite Night Sorrow to join the Heaven's Vault tribe. If he refused, it would be a disaster. According to Night Sorrow's character, it was impossible for him to join. Lin Shenner's doppelganger set off first, followed by her original body. She was prepared for a big battle. If the High Priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe made a move, she would fight with all her strength. Night Sorrow, who was cultivating at the Heaven's Vault cliff, originally had the fastest advancement of his will of destruction. He had already entered the 5-star king realm. After all, it was the sole power of a half-step emperor, so the comprehension of his will was fast. Next was the advancement of his domain of nothingness. As for the spacetime attribute, it had always been a bottleneck. However, just as Night Sorrow was stabilizing his cultivation, the baleful earth chi appeared at the top of the Heaven's Vault cliff. A cycle of violent impact collided with the energy in the void, producing spacetime destruction. Watching the destruction of spacetime, Night Sorrow broke through the bottleneck of the spacetime attribute. After breaking through the bottleneck of the spacetime attribute, Night Sorrow's comprehension was unstoppable. The 7th bloodline talent energy point was activated, and the space momentum burst forth. Even the time momentum appeared and began to revolve around Night Sorrow. The spacetime attribute heaven and earth momentum formed the spacetime domain. As Night Sorrow's 7th bloodline talent energy point continued to release the heaven and earth momentum, Night Sorrow's spacetime domain became more and more mature. In less than 7 days he completed the transition from the generation of heaven and earth momentum to 10%, crossing the threshold of the Emperor Realm. At this time, the members of the Heaven's Vault cliff who had received the news also arrived. They didn't intend to do anything to Night Sorrow. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't do anything at this time. Because the laws of heaven and earth were irreversible, Night Sorrow's Emperor Realm tribulation had arrived. It was the soul-extinguishing flame and the destruction divine wind. Any one of them would be fatal, so no one dared to approach. Night Sorrow sat there cross-legged, surrounded by the destruction divine wind and enveloped by the soul-extinguishing flame. Whether it was the destruction divine wind or the soul-extinguishing flame, once it entered the body, it would be obliterated and die. To control the heaven and earth momentum, one had to be tested by the heaven and earth tribulation. If one passed it, one would be like a carp leaping through the dragon gate. If one failed, one would die. One had to pay the price of not having the ability to touch the heaven and earth momentum. The High Priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe also arrived. Standing beside him was Commander Yu, the strongest soul-extinguishing flame and destruction divine wind. An unparalleled talent will also face an unparalleled tribulation. I don't know if he can pass it. Fekin, we really need this person. This is a deviation from my original estimation. The High Priest of the Heaven's Vault tribe changed his opinion. Lin Xin sped up the teleportation. She even used her own energy to replace the Saint Spirit stones to activate the teleportation array and increase the speed of the teleportation. Originally, a teleportation would take 15 minutes, but she completed it in a moment. She knew that this was Night Sorrow's crisis. Night Sorrow sat cross-legged and activated his leakless true body to resist the invasion of the soul-extinguishing flame and the destruction divine wind. One attacked the soul and the other attacked the body. The tribulation of wind and fire was to obliterate the cultivator's body and soul. His defense was very stable. This was the most crucial step in the cultivation journey. Night Sorrow was very cautious. He didn't have any way to counterattack. He could only rely on defense until the destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame dissipated. The cultivators who were meditating near Night Sorrow also left. Night Sorrow had the most destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame, but there was also the destruction divine wind and the soul-extinguishing flame that suddenly appeared around him. This was a warning from the heavenly Tao not to interfere with the tribulation. He could only resist it head-on. Night Sorrow's heart was as calm as still water. He activated his leakless true body to resist the suppression of the tribulation of wind and fire. In his extremely calm state of mind, Night Sorrow discovered that there were some wills in the destruction divine wind that he hadn't comprehended yet. He immediately immersed his mind and continued to comprehend them. The destruction will appear on Night Sorrow's body, and the power of the destruction will continue to rise. This is a madman. He's still trying to comprehend the destruction divine wind during his tribulation, Commander Yu muttered. He has so many terrifying attributes. This is a monster. He will either rise up or fall. There is no other possibility, High Priest Heaven said. With a tyrannical soul power as a foundation and a calm state of mind, Night Sorrow's control over the destruction will rapidly improve. From the 5-star King realm he entered the 6-star King realm. He didn't stop there either. He advanced all the way to the 7-star King realm, reaching the high-level Destruction King realm. The attribute laws and wills contained in the tribulations of the world were the most complete. Just like the lightning tribulation, it was a complete fusion of the lightning attribute laws and wills. The destruction divine wind contained the most complete laws and wills, which was what Night Sorrow needed the most. Speak. Chapter 1666. The laws and willpower of the tribulations were the most complete. Of course, no one would think of using these laws and willpower during the tribulations. This was because the tribulations were deadly. If one wasn't careful, they would be destroyed by the tribulations and be consigned to eternal damnation. Night Sorrow was very stable now. His leakless true body was consumed by the tribulations of wind and fire. If he ran out of energy first, he would be destroyed by the tribulations of wind and fire. If the energy of the tribulations of wind and fire was exhausted first, he would become an emperor. Therefore, if he could comprehend it now, he would naturally do so. Night Sorrow's body was surrounded by the destruction divine wind. However, there was also the rolling destruction willpower in the destruction divine wind. The destruction willpower wasn't driven by the destruction divine wind. It existed independently and belonged to Night Sorrow. A genius? No wonder Lin Piaomiao thinks highly of him. However, our Heaven's Vault tribe wants this person. Whether he accepts our recruitment or not, we have to control him. Before Lin Piaomiao reacts, we have to deal with him, Heaven's Vault High Priest said. Commander Yu and the 2 men who came later nodded. Night Sorrow's destruction willpower didn't stop after reaching the 7-star King realm. It continued to increase, but the speed was slower. After all, the remaining 30% of the destruction willpower wasn't that easy to capture. The soul-extinguishing flame burned, trying to drill into Night Sorrow's spirit sea and destroy his soul. The destruction divine wind rolled around Night Sorrow's body, trying to take away his life force. One was from the outside in, the other was from the inside out. They were 2 different extremes. Night Sorrow's leakless true body locked his body, not letting the soul-extinguishing flame enter his body and not letting his life force be taken away by the destruction divine wind. The soul-extinguishing flame burned more vigorously, and the destruction divine wind became more violent. However, Night Sorrow was still as gentle as Mount Tai. The intensity of the destruction divine wind made it easier for Night Sorrow to comprehend the destruction willpower. This guy is still enjoying it, Commander Yu muttered. At this moment, many people were watching. After all, the wind and fire tribulations of Emperor Realm weren't easy to see. Some heaven monarchs would break through in secret places or under the protection of their sects and elders. This way they wouldn't be exposed in front of others. Time slipped away bit by bit. Night Sorrow endured the tribulation of wind and fire. No one could feel how strenuous it was for Night Sorrow. That was the truth. Night Sorrow was using the myriad Daosh treasured tome to activate the virtuous immortal body. What he was using was the space-time energy. Night Sorrow knew what to do. If the energy in his body was not enough, he would use his Jinqi of Void. Even if he ran out of Jinqi of Void, he still had destruction energy and death energy. He would have no problem recovering unless the wind and fire calamity changed. Night Sorrow had taken 2 days to teleport to the Heaven's Vault tribe, but Lin Xianer had taken more than half a day to arrive. When Lin Xianer arrived at the Heaven's Vault tribe, she changed into a golden battle suit with a long sword hanging from her waist. This was the attire of the ethereal battle emperor Lin Piaomiao. She didn't want Night Sorrow to know that Lin Xianer was the misty battle empress and didn't want to ruin their friendship. Besides, Lin Xianer wouldn't be able to control the situation even if she came. Lin Piaomiao even felt that a clone wouldn't be enough. Lin Piaomiao is here. She's fast. Looks like things aren't going so smoothly. Heaven's High Priest looked in the direction that Lin Piaomiao had come from. So fast? Ethereal Imperial City needs close to 2 days to teleport here. That brat has only broken through for less than a day, Commander Yu said in surprise. Looks like that brat has a clone in Ethereal Imperial City. Lin Piaomiao immediately knew about his tribulation. Heaven's High Priest fell into deep thought. At this moment Lin Piaomiao appeared. She appeared near Night Sorrow in the blink of an eye. Battle Empress, why are you in the mood to visit my Heaven's Vault tribe? Heaven's High Priest greeted. I'm not in the mood. It's just that the overlord of my ethereal dynasty is breaking through. I'm here to protect him. Could it be that Heaven's High Priest is here to comprehend something? Lin Piaomiao asked. He's the overlord of the ethereal dynasty? From what I know, the overlord belongs to the ethereal dynasty. Lord Battle Empress, you don't have to be so nervous, right? Heaven's High Priest said with a smile. Does it matter if he's an overlord or not? What matters is that he's from the ethereal dynasty. That's enough. Lin Piaomiao said. Ethereal Battle Empress, this is the Heaven's Vault tribe. It's better not to speak too loudly, Commander Yu said. Who are you to speak here? If I want to kill you, he can't stop me. Lin Piaomiao snorted coldly. The he she was referring to was naturally High Priest Piaomiao. Commander Yu, don't be rude. Heaven's High Priest waved his hand at Commander Yu. He didn't say anything else, but his fingers trembled and light emitted from them. A moment later, Heaven's High Priest raised his head. Since he's someone that Ethereal Battle Empress thinks highly of, I'll give in this step. Lord Piaomiao, you must remember the Heaven's Vault tribe's kindness. Let's go. After speaking, Heaven's High Priest left Heaven's Vault cliff with Commander Yu. Lin Piaomiao stabbed the sheathed long sword in her right hand into the ground. Her eyes behind the veil scanned the surroundings. Unrelated people retreat 30 miles. After hearing the conversation between Ethereal Battle Empress and Heaven's High Priest, the onlookers knew Ethereal Battle Empress's identity. No one questioned Ethereal Battle Empress's words. They all retreated 30 miles. Commander Yu, who had left Heaven's Vault cliff, was puzzled. High Priest, we should kill that kid. This is equivalent to giving the Ethereal Dynasty a heaven-defying seedling. He's a virtuous person. Killing him will harm our own luck. Also, if we don't leave now, Lin Piaomiao's true body will come. She'll attack you. What you said just now triggered her killing intent. Her true body will arrive in an hour, Heaven's High Priest said. He didn't speak just now because he was using the art of destiny to deduce. Commander Yu was stunned for a moment because he hadn't expected this. Lin Piaomiao's direct combat ability is strong. It's hard for me to restrain her. So, there's no need to go against her. Heaven's High Priest explained the reason why he let go. He didn't want to go against Lin Piaomiao. After Lin Piaomiao's true body arrived, she merged with her doppelganger and stood there watching Night Sorrow go through the Windfire Tribulation. Night Sorrow comprehended the will of destruction during the Windfire Tribulation. Lin Piaomiao was very impressed. In the past, no one had done this. It could be said that no one had the spare energy to do so. But now, Night Sorrow's will of destruction was increasing to a visible degree. Lin Piaomiao didn't let down her guard. Heaven's High Priest wasn't a simple person. It was hard to say if he would really retreat because his reputation wasn't very good. He didn't care about face when doing things. He only pursued the greatest benefits. Night Sorrow was now fully focused on resisting the Windfire Tribulation and comprehending the will of destruction. He didn't know what was happening outside. At this time passed very slowly. The people watching from afar were all paying attention to Night Sorrow's situation, because if the cultivation went smoothly, they might also reach the same level as Night Sorrow. It was better to have a situation to learn from. After the will of destruction reached completion, it didn't stop. But Night Sorrow's divine wind of destruction and soul-extinguishing flame had already started to weaken. Lin Piaomiao even felt that if the wind-fire tribulation passed later, it would be more beneficial for Night Sorrow. If the will of destruction reached completion and entered the Emperor realm, that would be amazing. But the second update has arrived. Thank you to a Qinxian trading company for your protection. Also, I haven't exploded recently. Let me explain. Recently, there's been no electricity at home. I've been going out to look for electricity. I use my notebook to write and then use my phone to send books. It's already not easy to maintain a minimum of 4 updates. I've persevered a lot. So, I don't need to gain sympathy. But I will work hard to do what I should do. When the electricity comes, I will explode. The one who wants to explode the most is not only the fans but also myself. The effort and the reward are proportional. I also want to write more. Of course, I won't fill it up. Chapter 1667. The destructive wind weakened? Night Sorrow still felt that it wasn't enough. Next, the destructive intent vibrated, increasing the intensity of the destructive wind. Then he continued to comprehend the destructive intent within. Crazy. At this moment Yishang was acting very crazily. Other people would be eager to pass their tribulation as soon as possible, but what about Yishang? What he needed to do now was to stimulate the divine wind of destruction, increase its violence, and stimulate its will to manifest. Lin Piaomiao felt that she had been daring all this time, but compared to Night Sorrow she was still a little lacking. One had to know that the tribulation had many variables. Passing it first was the safest thing to do. After all, there were still many opportunities to comprehend the intent. Night Sorrow was taking a risk. Translator, Nioibo Studio Editor. Nioibo Studio. In fact, Night Sorrow was very confident. He still had 80% of the void chi in his body. He could deal with any unexpected situations. Many people understood what Night Sorrow was doing. They were all very impressed. At this time Lin Piaomiao looked up at the sky. There was a strong energy fluctuation. Just as Lin Piaomiao was worried, there was a singing sound in the sky. Then golden lotuses appeared and floated in the sky. Then one by one they fell towards Night Sorrow. Light of merit, it was the light of merit descending. After Night Sorrow entered the Emperor realm, he attracted the heavenly tribulation. Naturally he was covered by the heavenly law. His merit from killing evil spirits in the evil Punisher land was naturally discovered by the heavenly law. Therefore merit descended. Sound of nature, golden lotuses blooming in the sky. This is the scene right now. It was difficult to obtain merit in a small or high-level world because the living beings you benefited were limited. But in the celestial realm there were countless living beings. Night Sorrow killed thousands of evil spirits this time. To the celestial realm, it was immeasurable merit. The golden lotus of merit was very domineering. It directly dispersed the soul-extinguishing flame and entered Night Sorrow's spirit sea. Night Sorrow's leakless true body couldn't block it. The golden lotus of merit directly entered his spirit sea. Night Sorrow's head was covered in the golden light of virtue, and his body was wrapped in the divine wind of destruction. Wind of destruction, strengthen. Night Sorrow felt that he now had some ability, so he opened his mouth and said, following the words of Night Sorrow in the mansion of Night Sorrow, the divine wind of destruction on his body had indeed strengthened a little. Words were law. Although Night Sorrow's merit cultivation had not reached the level of the merit heavenly lord, it had reached the critical point of the merit grand sage. After saying that, Night Sorrow continued to comprehend the will of destruction. Too monstrous. This was Lin Piaomiao's evaluation of Night Sorrow. Not only was he able to increase the might of the tribulation, but he also dared to increase the might of the tribulation. This was definitely unprecedented. Night Sorrow was still comprehending, but when his will of destruction reached 90% and reached the level of an overlord, the destructive wind dissipated. Night Sorrow did not use the power of the deluxe merit grand sage anymore. Some things could only be done once. There was no benefit in going against the will of the heavens. The destructive wind dissipated, and auspicious clouds appeared in the sky, landing on Night Sorrow's body. The heavens rewarded him with energy. Night Sorrow used his leakless true body to wrap all the energy into his body so that it would not dissipate. Then Night Sorrow stood up and looked at Lin Piaomiao. Although he had been in the midst of the tribulation, Night Sorrow still knew some things. He knew that Lin Piaomiao was guarding him. Congratulations. Lin Piaomiao extended her right hand and grabbed the long sword. Thank you for protecting me. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Lin Piaomiao. It's nothing. Lin Xian'er informed me, so I naturally had to protect you. Moreover, you are the leader of the Misty Dynasty. I can't let any Tom, Dick, or Harry disturb your breakthrough. Lin Piaomiao said. War Emperor? Hearing Lin Piaomiao's words, Night Sorrow had more or less guessed. Of course, he did not know about the conversation between Lin Piaomiao and the High Priest. Yes, it's me. Are you all right now? Lin Piaomiao nodded and asked. Very good. My space-time attribute has entered the Emperor realm. However, my other comprehensions are still lacking. Night Sorrow turned to look at the sky cliff. You want to comprehend the will. I will find a place for you. This is not a good place. The High Priest has been here before. Lin Piaomiao could see that Night Sorrow did not want to leave. However, this was the territory of the Sky Cliff tribe. Lin Piaomiao was not afraid. However, if Night Sorrow stayed here, it was hard to say what would happen. She could not stay here forever because the Zhaohua dynasty and the Celestial sect were not very obedient. Thank you, War Emperor. Let's go. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao left the Sky Cliff tribe and teleported back to the Misty Dynasty. At that moment, Yi Shan, who was inside Yeyue Manor, had returned to his normal state. However, the aura emanating from his body had changed. Yi Shan's figure appeared illusory. Looking at him, it did not feel like him at all. This was the overbearing power of the space-time domain, illusory yet real. Master, what happened to you? Ning Yun, who had been waiting by the side with the members of the god-slaying team, asked. You idiot. Your master has become an emperor. He is now a rank 9 Emperor Realm cultivator. Datura said. She was very happy because this was a milestone in the transformation of a cultivator. Congratulations, Master. Ning Yun bowed to Night Sorrow. Congratulations, Uncle. With a big belly, Chiyue, who was sitting at the side, stood up and bowed to Night Sorrow. Chiyue, what are you doing? Come and sit over there. Night Sorrow quickly helped Chiyue up and asked her to sit down. Congratulations, Captain. Congratulations, Brother 13. The members of the god-slaying team roared and congratulated him. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I came to the Celestial Realm to pursue this step. I want to break the shackles of the 9-domain world and the primal chaos realm that prevent us from becoming an emperor. Breaking the shackles today is a historical moment for me, Night Sorrow. It is the completion of a transformation. However, it is also a step for the rise of our world. In the future, all of you can do it. I am very happy that all of you were by my side when I achieved success. Night Sorrow said some of the words in his heart. Night Sorrow, we have to celebrate. We have to send the news back. Datura said. It is indeed something to be happy about. Send the news back and let everyone be happy. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Moon Villa was filled with a festive atmosphere. Large red lanterns were hung at the door. However, Night Sorrow was still cultivating and familiarizing himself with the effects of the space-time domain. The space-time domain allowed Night Sorrow's speed to increase. Within his domain, he could teleport to any location in an instant. In addition, the time and space within the space-time domain could be changed. For example, when a sword chi entered the space-time domain, Night Sorrow could decelerate time. At the same time, he could use a few spatial folds to resist the power of the sword chi. In other words, he could not be in the same space as the energy that attacked him. The effect was extremely strong. Without any domain to resist his domain, Night Sorrow was the ruler of the space-time domain. He was invincible. As there was no hurry, Night Sorrow's original body and Lin Piaomiao returned to the ethereal imperial city in 2 days. Lord Knight, you have reached the Emperor realm in less than 200 years. This is an unprecedented feat. It is the Misty Dynasty's fortune to be able to appear in the Misty Dynasty's territory. If Lord Knight has any difficulties, you can find me at the City Lord's mansion anytime, Lin Piaomiao said as they parted. Chapter 1668. Yi Shang thanks Your Excellency Battle Emperor for taking care of Star Moon Lake. I thank Your Excellency Battle Emperor for protecting us. If Your Excellency Battle Emperor needs my help, I will not refuse, said Yishang. Sometimes things cannot be tied to benefits. I'll help you. Although you've become an emperor, you're still an initial emperor. You must continue to work hard. With your battle strength, you might have some say in the imperial emperor realm. Lin Piaomiao said. I will continue to work hard. Knight Sorrow nodded. I have high hopes for you. Lin Piaomiao said and left. Knight Sorrow left the teleportation array and flew towards the Night Moon Villa. He planned to rest for a while before continuing to find a place to cultivate. He wanted to perfect his nihility domain and destruction intent as soon as possible. Knight Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa and merged with his clone. Lin Xin also returned to the Night Moon Villa. Congratulations on successfully passing the trials of wind and fire and becoming an emperor. Lin Xin was wearing a white dress, which was completely different from Lin Piaomiao. Thank you Sister Xin for asking for help. If the battle emperor hadn't arrived in time, I would have been in trouble. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. We're friends, so there's no need to be so courteous. Just now the battle emperor came back and told me that everything went smoothly. Also, she'll arrange for us to go to the evil punishing grounds as soon as possible. This is a map from the battle emperor. Lin Xin handed a map to Yishan. After taking a look, Knight Sorrow realized that there were two key markings on it. One was the Nihility River and the other was the Sea of Destruction. One was the place to comprehend the Nihility attribute and the other was the place to comprehend the Destruction attribute. Knight Sorrow nodded and kept the map. This was the place he would go after resting for a while and stabilizing his cultivation. At this moment, Song Ning and Wu Feng also arrived at the Night Moon Villa. You bastard, why didn't you inform me of such a joyous occasion? Song Ning patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder heavily when he saw Knight Sorrow. That's right. Why didn't you inform Big Brother that you've entered the imperial capital? We only found out when we saw the big red lantern outside your door, Wu Feng said. Send out invitations to the 7 prefectures. Let them know that Knight Sorrow is also a great emperor cultivator. Let them know that they were blind to provoke you. Song Ning made the decision for Knight Sorrow. All right, then I'll listen to you. Knight Sorrow nodded. The news spread out like a storm, sweeping through the entire ethereal imperial city. Gong Yufan received the invitation, but it felt hot in his hands. His heart was filled with worry. What if Knight Sorrow challenged the Emperor Realm cultivators of Moon-Gazing Manor? Moon-Gazing Manor had many heaven monarchs but only one great Emperor Realm commander. If the only great Emperor cultivator was heavily injured or forced to leave, then Moon-Gazing Manor's strength would be suppressed beyond recognition. Gong Yufan didn't doubt Yishang's strength. When Yishang was a heaven monarch, he was able to kill a gifted half-thearch. Once he entered the Arch realm, he would be able to fight above his cultivation level. Gong Yufan doubted if he could handle Yishang, let alone the one-star the Arch realm commanders under him. After thinking about it, Gong Yufan decided to find a middleman to meet with Knight Sorrow to resolve the grudge. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to handle Knight Sorrow's suppression of Moon-Gazing Manor. Gong Yufan wasn't the only one with a headache. Yang Tianlai was the same. He was also furious. His son couldn't bully someone and his helper couldn't bully someone. Now that Knight Sorrow had entered the imperial capital, Sky Sun Prefecture was in danger. Luo Yuandao, who received the invitation, smiled. Fei, do you see this? This is Knight Sorrow. When he first made his move, he was a heaven monarch. He was not even a half the arch. However, in such a short time he has already become a the arch. He is indeed powerful. Fei, cannot compare to him. I can only work hard to be myself, Luo Fei said. You're right. Do you want to die just because others are doing well? Do your best. Hearing your words, I'm very pleased. I'll prepare a generous gift. The celebration is the day after tomorrow. Let's go and have a look. Perhaps there will be some jokes to watch, Luo Yuandao said. Forward Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai met. The two of them wanted to discuss countermeasures. They were currently in the same boat. Palace Lord Yang, now that Song Ning, Luo Yuandao and Lin Qixing are on good terms with Knight Sorrow, Bai Han from Great River Province and Han Zhenyu from Suppressing Mountain Province won't support us. Even if they do, it's useless. Gong Yufan said. The 7 manors of the Ethereal Empire were Song Ning Manor, Dark Shadow Manor, 7 Stars Manor, Sky Sun Manor, Moon Viewing Manor, Great River Manor and Mountain Suppression Manor. The 2 strongest manor lords were Song Ning Manor and Luo Yuandao of Dark Shadow Manor. 2 of them were imperial emperors while the other 5 were emperors. Gong Yufan knew that apart from Song Ning and Luo Yuandao who might be able to suppress Knight Sorrow, The other 5 had no chance of winning against Night Sorrow. He knew how strong Night Sorrow was in actual combat. Then what do you think, Palace Lord Gong? The Battle Emperor acknowledged Star Moon Lake's power and even issued a Territorial Lord's decree. That means he acknowledged Night Sorrow's identity and status. It's useless for us to use our status in Ethereal Empire to suppress him. If he uses the rules set by the Battle Emperor to challenge us, our 2 prefectures will have no place to stand. Yang Tianlai felt humiliated, but he had no other choice. That's right. Our eyes weren't bright enough this time. We can only find someone to mediate. The Battle Emperor is no longer a possibility. If we go to the Battle Emperor, we'll be asking for trouble. Both of us are in the wrong. Song Ning can't wait to kill us and won't interfere. Luo Yuandao. Do you think we can turn things around if we go to Luo Yuandao? Gong Yufan asked. Right now there are only 2 people we can find. One is one of the palace lords, Luo Yuandao, who is also a law enforcement elder. The other is Elder Lan of the City Lord Mansion. Elder Lan is powerful and prestigious, but if we go to him, we'll be scolded badly and he won't care. Yang Tianlai was a little annoyed because Night Sorrow's sudden ascension to the imperial capital had disrupted their plans. Then let's go find Luo Yuandao first. He's now a law enforcement elder and has connections with Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow will give him face. The key is whether Luo Yuandao will give us face or not. Gong Yufan thought for a moment and said. After making the decision, Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai went to the Shadow Mansion and asked to see Luo Yuandao. Luo Yuandao naturally wouldn't refuse the 2 palace lords. Gong Yufan and Yang Tianlai went straight to the point and told Luo Yuandao why they were here. After thinking for a moment, Luo Yuandao asked, "This seat didn't want to get involved in this circle. However, we've worked together for many years. This seat can pass on the message for you. But if you want to resolve this matter, have you thought about your sincerity?" Luo Yuandao felt that there was nothing that couldn't be resolved from Night Sorrow's point of view. What was needed was for Yang Tianlai and Gong Yufan to come up with a reasonable attitude and a reasonable price. Furthermore, he felt that this was one of the things he could accomplish after becoming the enforcement elder. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.